We good.
Uh, Back to Respect the Game with Coach Ham.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go, man.
Same old shit, man. Just
We back
grinding.
for another episode, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Championship vibes. I already know. I already know.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Let them see the ring,
Oh
man.
yeah, got to, man. Where the camera at? There you
Man,
go.
we in here,
There you
man.
go. Natty champs.
That's a fact.
Natty
So,
champs. Full joint. I need another one. I need one on this side. I'm gonna
that's a
fill it.
fact.
Gotta fill it up. Thanos style.
I feel you. I feel you. So, how you want to kick this off, man? You want me to start it off for the people, or you want to start
Yeah,
it off?
you can start it off. You can start it off. I'm gonna let you hit me with some questions because I'm taking notes today.
Oh man, here
I'm
you go.
taking notes. I'm taking notes. I done pulled my stylus out. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. I got questions to ask, man. I got
Got you. Got you.
I got questions to ask. So
Got you.
mm,
All right. So let's get right into it then. We're not even gonna wait.
yeah, I'm with it,
Um,
man.
let's talk about how you built the culture at Penn State Wilkes-Barre. Like how you did that.
Well, I built the culture of basically just a few small ingredients. Family was definitely first. My pops been with me for the last 8 years. Since my first year coaching. He was been with me. So family, loyalty was a big one. In this business, you don't get a lot of loyalty. You don't get a lot of people that's gonna have your back. So family, loyalty, um, just what we wanted to build when I got the program was we wanted to build a foundation where kids would want to come here because the programs were respectable, but we wanted to make it a players first program. We wanted to put the kids in a position to really understand that if you come here, you know, and you do right by the program will do right by you, and good things will happen. Um, and so we built it off family. We built the culture of hard work. We built the culture. We built the foundation around um, players first. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when I first, me with having Juco ties and me also being a guy who was just an underdog basketball player growing up, you know, um, we wanted to put the program in a position where those were the kids we wanted. I took a lot of Division II transfers who were transferring down. We took a lot of kids that was really underneath the radar. Nobody really knew who they were or how good they were. Maybe just got overlooked. And then when we
Guys that probably went to a higher level
went to a higher
and
level because someone told them that you got to go higher,
mm,
and then we got those guys who were just junior college guys who sat around and waited around thinking they was gonna get Division I scholarship and didn't get them, and then they came to us, and we kind of built the program again, players first. I mean, we took guys in that really was broken. We took guys in that worked so hard to get something and it wasn't there, and we just fed off of that, and we pretty much when I took over the program, it was more or less in a place where they were 64 and 62 over the 5 years before I took over the job. And now we're 94 and 42
so
in the last 5 years. So it's been a complete turnaround.
so what
And
would you
we
say would be the difference between building a winning program at Cecil, which was a top JUCO, and then coming to building a culture and a brand at building
at,
that program up at Penn State Wilkes-Barre? What was that like? Like, what was the difference?
well, the difference between Cecil, excuse me, the difference
Plus,
between thank you, the difference between Cecil and Wilkes-Barre was Cecil was a household name. When I had took over the program, it was one of those upper echelon junior college programs, but at the time it wasn't. The name wasn't. It was ringing, but it wasn't ringing. It
gotcha.
was you were good in the past, and we were fortunate enough to just have some success. And my first year, we go to the national tournament, and we go on this real Cinderella run. We knock off the number 1 team in the country, who was literally they was 28-0 at the time when we played them, and we knocked them off, and then we just hit the ground running, and we had we had 5 guys on the team go Division I, and then we had a bunch of guys come back, and so that kind of like restarted some of the buzz. We had a really good AD who he pretty much supported everything that I wanted to do. Some of my wild, crazy ideas, he supported it, and I had a great coaching staff that pretty much had the same vision I had. So when I took over at Wilkes-Barre, I kind of took everything that I learned at Cecil, but I kind of put my own spin on it. So when I met, when I sat down with the AD, who actually was my former college coach, he was one of my junior college coaches, I pretty much just said, hey, this going to sound crazy, but I think I can do this, and this. I just need your support. And the things that was this, and this was pretty much, I'm gonna win a national championship. We're gonna make this a nationally ranked program. We're gonna get kids that probably would have never thought to go here in their wildest dreams to come here, and we're gonna make this a household name. And it's just gonna take a few years. All I just need is you guys to stand behind me and support me. And that's actually what they did. And my first year we went game over 500. And then our first recruiting class, because I got the job late, so I didn't really get a big recruiting class. I actually had a bunch of kids leave because they were just scared that I was going to recruit over them. And one of the kids that actually stayed was Juco Jackson, who he was a 4-year player. He had started on the team before I took the job, and I sat him down and said, hey, dude, you're going to have a hell of a career here if you stay and work under me and work hard. You just listen to me, I'm going to make you better. And we basically built the foundation and we built the culture around 4 guys. Juco Jackson, who was a kid I didn't recruit, but he was the only kid that stayed in the program. Jerron Dawson Johnson, who was my first recruit. He became my starting point guard after 2 years.
And Rondo,
right? Everybody know him as Rondo. Chris Canteen, who was probably one of the best scorers I've ever coached. 6'3" guard who transfers into us from a Division II, where he was at William Jesuit, who at the time was the number 3 team in the country. So he took a lot of flack for transferring out, but just the style of play that they played, it just wasn't good enough. It didn't work for his game. And he seen me coaching in junior college, so he transferred. And then the 4th person was, at the time, was Colton Lewis, who was a 6'9" center, power forward from
power forward or combo forward?
No, when he came to me, he was a 6'9" center from Virginia Union, which is a Division II in the CIAA conference. He was a starter. He was a double-double guy. He's another guy that transfers literally to us. And I turned him into a combo forward. I got rid of the thoughts of you being a forward, you being a center. You're a combo forward. You're a combination of a wing and a forward mixed together. And we played a style of play that fit his game. And I say those 4 guys because it really started with those 4 guys. And when I say it started, meaning my first 2 years there, my second year, we make the playoffs my first year. We go a game over 500. We lose in the first round. And then in the second year, we get Colton Lewis added to those 3 guys, and we just take off. We become nationally ranked in the top 25 poll. We finish the season like 14th in the nation. We make it to the conference Final Four. We lose, but Colton Lewis signs a contract to go play in Spain. Signs with an agent. I got him in touch with some agent buddies of mine that was in the business, and they signed him, and Colton signed with an agency. And then I turned around and we got Chris signed with an agent. Actually, it worked out because I was at the time I called one of my coaching buddies who was trying to sign Miles Bridges, who plays for Charlotte. He's trying to get him to sign with his agency, and I'm like, hey, I got a guard for you. You got to take a look at him. I think he's a pro. And he says, man, I got to get back to you. I'm in the middle of having a conversation with Miles Bridges' parents. I'm trying to sign him. And I'm like, all right, you do your thing. And call me back. And he calls me back a few days later. I never asked him if he got Miles. I don't think he got Miles, but I said, hey, I got a kid for you. And he was tied up with a lot of stuff in the draft. And I said, I got an agent for you that I know is looking for a guard. He puts me in touch with one of his friends, and we become cool. And he signs Chris. Chris goes and plays in Brazil. So,
and this is all out of Penn State, Wilkes-Barre.
It's all out of this small school on the mountain two kids that wouldn't have went pro if they didn't come to us. They were two kids that were going to play Division II, get their degrees, and just go on with life. And I'm not a big social media guy, but those two kids signing with agents and then making it signing pro contracts, it gave me buzz, but it also gave
the school
buzz.
The program.
So now kids is looking like, whoa. You know, coach got kids going overseas, and then guys started doing homework on me and started to realize, well, shit, he got 10 other guys playing overseas that he helped. And it's like now everybody's starting to see, okay, well, this guy's got pros. I got to do more homework on this guy. I might want to go play there. I might want to play, some small college basketball. And for me, it was like when you coach in junior college, everybody wants to go Division I. So you prepare them. You got 1 or 2 years to make them really good to play at the Division I level, to be Division I players. If not, some guys go Division II. At my level, when I got to the 4-year level, it was more or less about making sure guys get their degrees, and the guys that have a chance to play at the professional level, prepare them to be professional pros, and then use my contacts to see if I can get them to keep the dream going forward. So it was Cecil, to answer your question. Cecil was kind of like Wilkes-Barre. It was just changing of where the final place would be. Instead of being in Division I or II, it was overseas. So back to Chris and Colton. Chris and Colton finally, boom, they signed contracts. They buzzing. It's all over social media. I'm tweeting it. Agents are tweeting it. Teams are tweeting it. Everybody's tweeting it. Schools posting it. And so now I'm on a recruiting trail. I see a 6'9" kid who reminds me of Colton, but has a little different skill set, but just as good. And I'm like, man, I had Colton for a year. I get him for 2 years. This kid gonna be a pro. His name's Jordan Williams. He comes in and he plays pretty solid that first year, and he comes in a loaded recruiting class. I mean, it's Jordan Williams, Amir Biddle, who's an All-American and Defensive Player of the Year, Levon Souls, who's the National Freshman of the Year, Tamir Gibbs, Nick Doolin, who are both Division II transfers. Kevin Silverberg, who's another Division II transfer. By the way,
Catholic school B division.
You said it. Kevin Silverberg was a Catholic school second division kid who scored 1,200 points in high school and took his team to a Catholic school championship game his sophomore and junior year, and was told by Iona to go to prep school because they would take him, but he wanted to play, so he winds up going to a Division II school. It doesn't work out and ends up coming to us. Not only does he come to us, he becomes a national champion. He won a national 3-point shootout contest. And now I'm in the process of finding him, an agent so that he can play overseas. So back to it, we bring in this solid.
Now that you talk about that, take us through, take me and our viewers, take us through what that national championship run was like.
You know what? I can say it like this. When you come to play for me, it's national championship or bust every year. I've been saying that since even my first year there at Wilkes-Barre. It was something about that team a year ago that was special. The players held themselves to a higher standard. There were times where me and the coaching staff were sitting in the film sessions after we just had one with the team, and we send them down to start getting stretched and start getting ready for practice. And we're still up there talking about maybe a ball screen or how we're going to guard this or who we're going to start, this or that. And by the time we get down there, the guys are drenched in sweat practicing. There were times when we sat in a hotel, be downstairs at 10 because the bus going to leave 10:15, and guys downstairs 9:30. So that team was, and those are just small things that people don't think are important, but they're very important.
They wanted it.
They wanted it.
You ain't have to push them.
Didn't have to push them. They just knew. But also too, it was a team that we kind of had for 2 years where we really just made the adjustments mentally to them. And that's one of the things, we talk about all the time is coming to play for me, what it's like. And that team was different. I mean, you're talking about having defensive player of the year, a freshman of the year, a newcomer of the year. We have Khalil White who comes in, who's another scoring machine, averages 17 a game for us. He's an All-American off the bench, comes off the bench, and he's an All-American. But
big.
that team was special. We pretty much dominated the conference all year. We were ranked number 3 in the country, which was something that was probably the highest the school had ever been ranked. And we end up losing in the conference championship game by tipping. 1.8 seconds left, guy tips the ball and we lose. And our team was devastated. They was hurt. And because, winning that game, maybe we move up to a 1 or the 2 seed. Mm-hmm. So we don't, we stay 3. We go to the national tournament. And those are probably the funnest 5 or 6 days of my life. We go to the national tournament. Kevin Silverberg wins the national 3-point contest. Levon Souls wins the dunking contest. That night after the banquet, at the banquet, I win National Coach of the Year, which is something that I never even expected to win. I mean, I was so locked in with just putting the guys first and us getting to the end of the tunnel. I never thought I would be nominated to win. So that was something. And I, again, I salute every guy that played for me, every coach, everybody, because it wasn't just me, it was everybody. It was definitely different. And then the next day, national tournament starts. And we were beating this team, NHTI, who actually won the national championship this year. We're beating the shit out of them. I'm talking about we up 20 points, and somehow, some way, we just took our foot off the gas. They hit some shots, and they got back in the game a little bit, and then we beat them. And then the next day, we have a day off. If you're a 1, 2, or 3 seed, if you win, you get the next day off. So we get the next day off to prepare, and the number 1 and the number 2 team in the country are actually playing that day because they don't play the first day. And the number 1 and the number 2 team in the country lose in front of everybody. So we get back to the hotel, and I pretty much make everybody get off the bus, or pretty much get out the vans rather. And I just basically told them, hey, this is our national championship to lose. Like, there's no way the number 1 team and number 2 team in the country is out, and we're the seeding wise, we're the best team left. I thought we were the best team in the country going into the national tournament, but actually now we're literally the best team left. And you're talking about Monday night, dude. I didn't sleep until Friday. So the next day we play in the Final Four, which is Tuesday, and we smashed that team. We went by. We were up 25. They cut it a little bit, but we won by like 10 or 12 because it pretty much was over. And that night, man, the night before the national championship game, dude, I'm laying in the bed, and I get a text message from my boss, and he's like, "Good win. We'll all be there tomorrow." And it's crazy because my wife and my mom didn't get a chance to make it out there to the national tournament. So after the game, after we win and make it to the Final Four, I'm on Instagram, and I see my son jumping up and down on the trampoline, my wife screaming and yelling. We going to the championship game, And then the next day, I get like 17 messages. I'm talking about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and people are giving me like, pep talks and I know one more game to go. And all these newspapers are just calling and texting and wanting emails and want to do interviews. Like, this little ass school's about to pull this off, So I didn't tell the guys what was going on. So the crazy shit is we have shoot around that morning, and we pretty much tell guys, listen, the goal from the beginning of the year was that we were going to play on the final day of the year. Like, Coach Ray had the day in his head. He just kept saying, well, yo, I don't got nothing planned until March 6th. He used to say that every day in practice. So if y'all gonna bullshit and y'all not gonna play hard, let me know now. I'll go home. We used to say that all the time. So you know, we go back to the hotel, we check out. We got to check out early because that's just the rules. And so we check out like 1:00, and we all go get something to eat. And dude, it's like 4:00, and we're at the arena. The game is not until 7:00.
Mm-hmm.
By the time that lady sing the national anthem, the ball ain't going in the air till like 7:10. And my guys is like harassing me. Hey, coach, let's get the uniforms. We want to get dressed. We want to go in the locker room. We want to get dressed 4:00. I got Amir Biddle pacing up and down, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Amir pacing up and down because he want to get going. And it was just different. I mean, the ball tips in the air, and these guys played. Shit, they played. I felt like I played every guy that played in that game. It felt like I had an NBA team versus a college team. We dominated them on every possession. At one point, we were up 25 points. And honestly, dude, it didn't feel real at no point. I'm talking about 3 minutes left in the game. We up 18 points, and I'm scared to death. I'm scared that they're going to hit some 10-point shot that don't even exist, and they're going to come back. And then it gets probably like 45 seconds left, and I'm seeing my players cry. You know, I'm seeing Jordan Williams cry. You know, I'm seeing Jerron Dawson, who was seniors. This is the final game of their career.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and then it just hit me like, wow, like, you know, I turn around and I'm 39 years old, dude. I've probably seen my father cry twice in my whole life, and my father's in tears. You know, it was magical. You know, it was like real Netflix original type shit. Like, I just never been a part of anything like that, and it solidified the brand a little bit. It solidified everything. You know, the year before that, we didn't get a chance to talk about, but out of those 4 core guys, Jordan Wood, Colton Lewis and Chris Canteen signed contracts to go to Spain and Brazil. But the year after that is Shakur Jackson's senior year. He goes to Spain. He signs and goes to Spain and plays in Spain. So now he gives us our 3rd pro. You know what I mean? And then we win a national championship, and we got about 5 guys that got a chance. Jordan Williams instantly, man, probably after like a month, 3 weeks, a month, I'm picking up the phone. I'm calling agents, and I call one of my guys in the business, Drew, and I said, Drew, he needs an agent, you know, and I think you're going to like this kid, you know, and Drew is one of those guys that he doesn't sign everybody because talent doesn't mean everything to him. Like, your personality with the talent means something, you know. And I said, dude, Drew, you're going to love this kid. You know, like, I've been with him for 2 years. You're going to love him. And his first conversation with Drew, him and they just linked. And it was like, they just really dug each other. And J-Dub winds up signing with him, and he plays his first year in Portugal.
Why play for you? Why Penn State Wilkes-Barre? And why play for you? If I'm an incoming freshman or a guy coming out of Juco and I just played at a scholarship level, but I didn't have the numbers I had, why come play for you? Why turn down this scholarship and bet on myself? Your players came on my podcast and already said why they do it, but you as a coach, what do you tell your recruits right now?
Okay, so the first thing is what's important to you. That's the first thing. Is it you going to play at a school because they give out nice gear and got a name for them? Because we give out some gear too. I might not be able to give you as much gear as a Division I program, but is it the gear?
Have a check on it though.
You know, huh?
It's gonna have a check on it though.
It's gonna have a check on it though. Definitely gonna have a check on it. They ain't gonna give you nothing else but a check on it. We ain't 3 striping over here. That's for damn sure.
You go.
And I know you're an Adidas guy, but we ain't 3 checking it over here. 3 striping it. But the first thing is what's important to you. If it's about going somewhere to get, first off, if it's about going somewhere because that's what everybody else is telling you to do, then go there. You don't come here if you don't want to be coached hard. You don't come here if you don't want to be challenged. You're not going to like me. And if whatever recruit sees, you're not going to like me every day. And I'm cool with that. but you will understand there's a reason to my madness. You know, I push guys to the edge, and that's because I won't let anyone settle for not being great. You have to be great here. There's no under. It's always over. You're going to do better than anywhere else. You're gonna be cared about here. You know what I mean? Like, we care about our guys. I mean, it's family. This is bigger than basketball, and it's always been. And you've interviewed a few of my guys, and I think if you interview 99.9, percent of the guys, they're gonna tell you flat out that it's family. Like, coach really care. He really. I love our guys. I mean, I scream and yell at guys every day in practice, and I'm the same guy that texts you at night and just say, "Hey, man, you know it ain't personal. I might grab you for practice if I can catch you before you run out the door." I say, "Hey, man, listen."
I speak to you a lot, throughout the season, and I hear you. You and Pops going to Walmart, and you asking the kid, "Hey, you hungry?
You hungry? You want to go take a ride?" Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know that family vibe
it's family. Somebody, again, and for whatever parents look at it, you're giving me your kid. I got 4 kids of my own. You know what I mean? And if I give them to a coach, I want the coach to treat them like he's his own kid. I don't treat the best player and the worst player any different. You know what I mean? I honestly, no one is treated the same because everybody's relationship is different. Every kid needs me for something that's different. Some kids need me similar, some kids don't. Some kids don't really need me much at all because they're independent. I've been to a few schools, I get it. And then you got some kids that's like, yo, this is my first time away from home, and I got to take them underneath the arm. Me and Rondo's relationship became so special because Rondo was really 17 years old coming out of high school, and he's dropped off on this campus, and half of his team is over 21, and he doesn't know how to handle that. And Rondo was at my house almost every night. He was at my house and some nights where it's like, hey, I got a paper due tomorrow, and I want you to proofread it. And I was there for him, and that's with any of our guys. And our relationship has grown from it. I really mean that when I say players first, is that it's really about them. I didn't get into business with the mindset where it was like, oh, I'm trying to make all this money and do this, this, and that. It was like, no, I got into business because I was coached by some really good people, not coaches. Not saying they can't coach, but I was coached by some really good people and really good guys who really put me in a position to succeed and to go after my dreams. So if you're looking for a coach that's going to believe in you and is going to push you to that limit of where you say you want to go, then fine. This is the place. You're going to get a lot of exposure. We play Division I programs. We play top Division II programs. I'm not scared to play anybody. If the Philadelphia 76ers wants to play a game and they can play us, I'm going to play them. I don't run from anybody. You're going to play for a program that went from being 5 years ago not ranked to the second year being 16th in the country to the third year being third in the country to this year we were to fourth and fifth year being ranked number 1 and number 2 in the nation. You're coming to play for a nationally ranked program. You're coming to play for a program that plays all their home games on a live stream. So you could be from Cali, Texas, New York, wherever. You're playing where mom and dad are going to see you play. They're going to see you play. But if you're a kid that doesn't like to work hard, you don't want to get up 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning and have workouts, you don't want to be pushed, you don't want to be coached, you don't want to be challenged, don't come here. If you're a kid that doesn't want to play with better players, don't come here. If you're a player that thinks you need to get 17 shots, 18, 19, 20 shots, don't come here. We don't play that way. We move the ball, we take the best available shot, and we've had guys average 17, 18, 19, 20 points a game. Chris Hansen,
I told my kids, and I always tell kids when they ask me about your program, or I'm just telling them, like, this year you had 4 seniors
score 1,000 points.
Like, that doesn't happen without sacrifice, playing hard, and just believing in your coaching system.
And 2 guys just miss 1,000. One guy had 888 and other one had 924.
Feel me? So it's like the ball is getting passed around. You're just playing it the right way. So with that being said, I want to get into You're stable. You're pro stable.
And one more thing, and I was just about to say that. You're not going to find, and I'm not saying that I can guarantee that every kid goes to play professionally. I can't guarantee that because nobody can. Mm-hmm. However, I've been there 5 years. We have 5 pros. Amir Biddle, who signed with a team in El Salvador, right, and it was on his way and doing his thing, and then COVID happened. Jordan Williams, who signed in Portugal, and he's gonna be signing in Switzerland in a couple of days. I just talked to his agent. Chris Canteen, Colton Lewis, Shakur Jackson, played Spain, and Brazil. Nick Doolin is getting invited to training camp with a pro team here in the States. We just talked the other day. I'm still working on some stuff from Will Pierce, and we got a few other guys that graduate this year that's still working on some stuff.
And I'll go on record and say it now. You got
Kevin Silverberg is a guy I'm working right now to try to help finish and just line him the right agent. I mean, we got some agents that's interested, but you just don't sign with an agent. You sign with somebody that's really going to take care of you. And I just don't drop my kids on anybody because you could sign with an agent and never get a job. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know, I played 8 years. I mean, 8 seasons. I understand what it takes to play at that level, how hard you have to work, and what they're looking for. I talk to agents all the time, like at least once or twice a week. I talk even during the season. I talk to general managers through email or people through email, that associates that work with teams that are always looking for players. So I understand what they're thinking. But the other thing is that, and you asked me this, and as a recruit, is don't tell me something you don't really want to be. Don't tell me you want to be great and you really don't want to be great. Don't tell me you want to be a pro, but you're not willing to work every day to be a pro. Because, see, one thing about me is I'll support your dreams. I'll make your dreams my dreams. If you tell me, Coach Kai, I'm coming in, I really want to be a pro, I got 4 years, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes, I'm going to tell you what it takes. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to help you. But if you don't want to get out to bed and work on your game, you don't want to go in the gym and lift weights, you can't expect me to go in there and do it for you. Mm-hmm. You know, my motto to guys all the time is I love being in the gym. As a head coach, I love being in the gym and doing individual workouts with players. But I'm not getting in the gym with you if you don't get in the gym on your own. I got to see you in there. I could work you out for 3 weeks, and then a week I can't work you out because maybe we got stuff going on with the school. If you're not in there on your own, you'll never get me in there again. I guarantee you that. There's absolutely no reason for me to be in there, for me to be in the gym with you. But we know what it takes, and we push guys to the edge. If you really want to be a pro and you really want to be great and you want to be all above, this is it. Now you can ask me a question about your pro stable, but I definitely wanted to know that, like, and back to it, one more thing is you said, what makes me turn down a scholarship? A Penn State degree. On top of the basketball stuff, a Penn State degree. You're talking about one of the biggest universities in the world. You're talking about an alumni of over 900,000 people who have graduated from this school. You're talking about a fraternity of people that when your resume goes through via email or through a fax machine, that chances are somebody that's looking at it is probably went through the blood, sweat, and tears of being at blue, wearing blue and white, and is a Penn State alumni. So, besides the basketball part, you're going to get a chance to play for championships. You're going to play a high-level schedule. You're going to play for coaches that sent guys pro. But I also got 6 All-Americans in 5 years, 7 All-Conference players in 5 years. I got
and that's what I was about to get into.
I got a national rookie of the year. I got a national 6th man of the year. I got 2 national newcomers of the year. We got player of the year. We have all that other cute stuff. Everybody,
6 academic All-Americans too.
6 academic All-Americans, and a team GPA that has never been under a 2.8 in the 5 years that we've been here.
What's your graduation rate like?
97%. I've got 2 guys. I've graduated 18 out of 20 guys. I will be at 100% when Nick Doolin walk across the stage this year, and Will Pierce, I got my foot in his ass for him to finish school because he was supposed to graduate last year, but he took this year off to play professionally. When those 2 guys graduate, I am 100%. Our kids fucking graduate. That's another thing. But let's get to your pro stable questions, because I know I've heard the label that we are pro you.
Yeah,
I've seen it in your in your tweets, and I heard
pro you. Everybody eats. Hashtag everybody eats at Penn State.
Everybody eats, man.
Who's
Everybody
next?
gotta eat.
Like,
who's next?
I can tell you, like, I think Kevin Major's gonna have a hell of a year, and I tell coaches and scouts now, Kevin Major from the Bronx is gonna be a pro.
I talked to an agent 3 days ago who I'm trying to help one of my former players from junior college out. He just needs a new agent. And he said, well, how's things going? How you guys looking? I get this question all the time. You know, how you guys looking for next year? So I said, we got some good guys coming back. But I said, I got a guard, man. I said, numbers wise, he has a phenomenal season this year. I said, man, you and everybody else gonna want him. I said, 6'3", jump out of the gym for his size, smooth game. I said, shot over 48% from 3, shot 56% from the field. He was like 56%. I said, yeah, he's shooting big. I said, he's shooting big man numbers, and he's a 6'3" guard. I said, he's probably one of the most efficient guys I've ever coached. Now, I've coached some really good guys, some really good scorers. I said,
shouts out to Kevin Major.
Kevin Major. I think
shouts out to my bro for putting that work.
I say he's the next one. He's the next one.
He under that cloth.
But he's under that cloth, man. I mean, ice training kid and Gooch. Every time he makes certain moves or he do certain things, certain layups, certain moves, I'm like, man, that's Gooch. That's Gooch. He done came to the bench a few times after making a move, and he coming out the game, and I was like, yo, man. I was like, Gooch taught you that. He was like, yeah, he taught me that. He taught me that. So, yeah, man. Any kid that watched this, man, stop buying Jordans, stop buying Yeezys, stop buying red bottoms, and stop buying $100, $150, jeans, and get with Dillard or get with Gooch. Spend your money on that. That's an investment. Spend your money that way. Any kid listening to this, because it's an investment.
Appreciate that.
For real.
I got some good.
But we could talk about the stable. I mean, stable wise, 15 guys in 8 years. I've had guys play from pretty much all over Europe. What I usually try to do is I try to reach out to agents that I have relationships with or I networked with either while I was playing, after I was playing, and I was, helping regular guys to go overseas that finished college, and some guys that I've met in the business with the success that the school has had and I've had, and helping guys. I get guys all the time, like Jordan Williams signed with an agent last year. I got him signed with an agent last year, and he goes to Europe, and 3 new agents hit me up like, hey, I hear that you sending guys overseas. Can I get with you? Whatever kids you got,
I tell my guys all the time, because they think I got a magic wand to just pop up coaches in the joint. I tell
kids the same shit. I ain't no Disney character. I don't have no magic wand. I can't hit you in the head and say you a pro.
You hard and you bust your ass. I can get you. I can help point you in the right direction.
Any kid listening to this got to understand, if you want to be a pro, you got to be special, and you got to do something that nobody else your size or your skill set can do. Your shit has to stand out. When I look at all the guys that I've coached as pros, everything stands out. Everything stands out. I coached Obinna Olika. He was #1 junior college player in the country. Goes to Arizona State, averaged a double-double. Only other player in the Pac-10 at the time that averaged a double-double was Lonzo Ball. Rob Conti, top 5 in the country in blocks, top 2 in the country in block shots, top 2 in the country in rebounding, top 5 in the country in field goal percentages. Takes his Division II school to a conference championship game, something they hadn't did in X amount of years. Jordan Williams was a Division I junior college player and ends up going to us. He turns down 2 NAIAs and 3 Division II offers and is National Player of the Year. Colton Lewis started at Virginia Union, averaging damn near a double-double, and transfers to a little school.
Let the record show where Ben Wallace went.
Where Ben Wallace and Charles Oakley graduated from. The same conference that gave Amir Hennett a shot to play with the Knicks. He left that conference to play with us. Chris Canteen, you know what I mean? Dante Adams. I coached Dante Adams in junior college.
I'm glad you mentioned all this, right? So now, right, I want to play a little game with you. Like, what comes to mind when you hear who's the best player you ever coached?
You know what? I want to say last July, me and my pop was riding, and he said, give me your top 10 players that you've ever coached. That's very hard. I can't give you a number one.
All right, give me the best player you ever coached at Penn in a Penn State Wilkes-Barre jersey.
I can't. My favorite, I'll tell you this. My favorite 3 players, I give you that. Because you ain't gonna jam me up and pin me to no goddamn wall. Had these guys hit me up on Twitter like, yo, what's going on, coach? My favorite 3 players to coach. Jerron gonna kill me for this. But Colton Lewis, Jordan Williams, and Chris Canteen. It's my favorite 3 players to coach. And I'll give you a quick reason why. I love coaching Jerron. He was my favorite player, but Chris Canteen will wake me up at 10:30 in the morning and sit in my living room until I got out the fucking bed, took a shower, and got dressed so that I would go to the gym with him and work out every day. And every day, he was my alarm clock. He know, don't come to my house before 10. But 10:01, he rung the bell, and we was in the gym. We worked out for 2 hours. Then he went he went to class. We worked out for another hour before practice. Then he went to get something to eat, and then we worked out after practice every day. Colton Lewis was my favorite because he was a kid that I expected to come in with a high maintenance mentality because of where he had played at. And he came in as the most humblest kid in the world. And I got in his ass more than any other kid that I probably ever coached. And he took it, and he took it, and he took it. But he always showed up, and he always knew where it was coming from. And that's why he's going on his 3rd year playing professionally, and he's getting better. Jordan Williams, that's my dude. Love that kid. When I tell you, I never seen him take a day off. I mean it. There was probably 1 or twice where I was like, hey, you took the day off today? He's like, yeah, I took the day off. Then I talked to him the next day. He snuck in the gym and he got some time in. So those 3 guys was just different. I mean, there's others. I mean, obviously Rondo, we got great history. Kevin Silverberg, Khalil White, I love screaming and yelling at him because I got the response. You know, we got some guys. Kevin, I love sitting. You know, major. Will Pierce was another one. He was another guy that
you trying to buy your way out.
He stayed
National championship.
Now hold on though. Cecil, John McNair, Charles Burley, Dante Adams. Charles Burley led the country in assists. I've had 2 point guards in the last 8 years lead the country in assists.
What about Obi? You don't got Obi in there?
Obi was too damn quiet. Never talked. Just he was different. Obi would get the rebound, push the ball up the floor, and dunk it and growl all the way back up the court. But he never said anything. Never talked.
That's how Marco is.
The only time he ever spoke was when I yelled at him, and it was like, okay, coach, you know. We had a really good relationship, but he didn't talk much. And I guess it was it also could be, him being, African, and he didn't really he was kind of like, I guess say it's a culture thing. So where it's like, like
Very
best
nice.
coach, no coach. He was real quiet kid.
Well mannered.
Now his best friend Anthony Estes, that was a cookie. 6'8" point guard, probably one of the dangerous dudes, and he transferred in from a Division I. I coached some studs. Dante Adams averaged 60 a game for a month in Mexico, to the point where they paid him to get out the league.
Got you.
So I can't say. It's Colton or Jordan. If I had to say my best player, I guess it got to go to Jordan because he won me a national championship. That's for sure. I think now I say as the greatest of, if you want to say greatest of all time in the 5 years, the GOAT goes to Jordan for sure. I mean, what he did in that national title run was fucking phenomenal.
What comes to mind when you hear national championship?
National championship, Now, granted, other guys on that team, and I got a great relationship with Kevin Silverberg, like I do Rondo, but those three guys that started that program, they were just fucking different.
What comes to mind when you hear professional athlete?
Everybody ain't one. You don't know how many kids I talk to during the recruiting process that tell me they a pro. I be like, what? Man, I just want to be a pro. Like, dude, that shit ain't easy. But other than everybody ain't one, you gotta be obsessed with the game. You gotta love this shit. Like nothing can be more important than basketball. You gotta dedicate yourself. And you pretty much gotta eat, sleep, and shit this. If you can do that, you got a shot. You just got to be different. That's what I think of when I think of pros. Like when I hear coaches say, "Hey, coach, he's a pro," it's like I expect that when I click on the film, that this is different. He's just different from everybody else. That's what I think is a pro. You got to separate yourself from everybody.
So what comes to mind when you hear national championship?
When I hear national championship, I think of my pops. I think of how he stuck around for all those years because he wanted to be a part of it. He seen that we were getting closer and closer, and we won. I think of family. I still remember Dominic Stevens going to snatch the ball from the kid who was dribbling it out at the end of the game, and I remember Amir Biddle holding the ball so that we could get the shot clock violation because it was like a 4-second difference. And I remember seeing him travel like 3 or 4 times, but the bench was jumping so damn crazy. The referee didn't call travel on him. And then they call it. And I remember seeing Dominique Stevens get the ball from the kid who, after we won, and how everybody ran on the floor. And so when I hear national championship, I just think, like, Daddy, I did it. Like, we did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some people say, Mama, I did it. Rocky said, Adrian, I did it. Like, for me, it's like, Dad, we did it. Like, that was something that it really took the whole family to do it, the whole team, and we did that shit.
That being said, what comes to mind when you hear culture?
I think of us. I think of Wilkes-Barre. Like, when I hear culture, I think of Duke. I think of North Carolina. I think of Kentucky. I think of how you would look at this is where somebody wants to be. So when I hear culture, I think of Wilkes-Barre. I think of how we were the first ones to wear warm-ups that was hoodies. We was the first ones that, our colors is blue and white, but we got the all-black sweatsuit on coming through the door. You know what I mean? I think of how we had games where it was like, yo, everybody gotta wear bright colored sneakers because we wearing these. Like, I think of just swagger. I think of just swag. I think of kids.
Basically the USCAA's version of the Fab Five. Yeah, we
brought some swagger to it.
Got you.
I seen some Division I's in some of the games we played, look at us and just think like, how these jokers got some
feel like
looking better than us.
I
I
feel
just
like
think
kind of summed up my fifth question with the sacrifice. I'm gonna put that with becoming a professional athlete.
absolutely.
You
I
know,
think anything you do in life, if you wanted to succeed, you gotta sacrifice. You gotta be willing to give up something to get what you want. You know, my pop's biggest quote was, growing up was, you got to get something you got to put something in something to get something out of it. And I think when you come here to Wilkes-Barre, that's the one thing you learn if you haven't learned it from anywhere else is you're gonna sacrifice. I don't care what mom and them at the house think about how many shots you got, how much playing time you got. Like, you not playing for mom and them, and you not even playing for you playing for us. And my biggest quote is, if you can sacrifice for 7 months for us, we'll take care of you the other 3 months. And it'll take care of itself. And it has. I mean, Jordan Williams wasn't our leading scorer. He was the 4th leading scorer on the team. And he's a pro. Amir Biddle was 5th in scoring. He's a pro. He was defensive player of the year and an All-American. He was an All-American and averaged 9 a game. But he was top 5 in the country in steals and top 5 in the country in block shots. And his job every night was to lock up the best player so that Kevin Silverberg and Khalil White could score all the points they needed to score for us to win. Like, that was his job. And he did it so good that agents and teams didn't give a fuck about how much he scored. Once they got on the phone with me, or once they heard his story, they really realized, like, yo, dude, this dude is – I've never seen anybody take pride. He was one of my joys to coach. I mean, I probably wasn't one of his joys to be coached, but I yelled at him every chance I got. But I loved coaching him because he wanted to be held accountable to a level that I've never seen. Like, he wanted to be held accountable. Like, he would say, hey, if I fuck up, call me out. You know, you don't get a lot of kids that do that. A lot of kids nowadays, they run from that shit. They run from being yelled at and being coached.
Winning, I ain't gotta ask you about winning. That goes with winning. Also, work ethic goes with winning. So let's get into what comes to mind when you hear social media.
It's the devil. It's a dangerous. Social media to me is a dangerous. It's forbidden fruit. I guess that'd be probably the best quote. It's forbidden fruit. And I say it's forbidden fruit because I think a lot of our youth they're so focused on social validation that they don't understand that the people that are talking about them at that specific moment won't matter in 2-3 months. I mean, you tomorrow could sign with whatever school you wanted to, and guys gonna talk about you for a week or two, but by the time you go to the ball goes in the air, them guys done fucking forgot about you. You know, a lot of kids are making decisions because of how it looks to everybody else. I read some of these kids' commitment posts, and they're fucking hilarious. You know, the kids are, I gotta thank God, and I gotta thank God, and I gotta thank this person. Or they're thanking all these guys to make it seem like they're so, like, influential. And it's like, these dudes didn't really help you. But you forgetting about the guys that actually did. Or these kids are signing with schools just because they signing with Division IIs because they don't want to go Division III. And then where do they end up in a year? Division III. So, and then now they ended up somewhere, you know, or, I think so many kids are they fall trapped to social media. Now, on the other side, it's a great tool. I mean, listen, I don't say much. I'm not a man of many words on social media. I probably post more on my stories than I post, unless when I post something in my, like, an actual post in Instagram, it's something important or something solid. Most of the time I use my stories so that it goes in your head and it goes away. And then hopefully it stays there long enough that you do what you got to do. And Twitter, I say whatever I need to say, but my brand was built off of it. Wilkes-Barre became Wilkes-Barre because Colton Lewis and Chris Canteen signed contracts with agents and it signed with teams. And every Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that Colton had a monster game or Chris had a monster game, and I retweeted it. I retweeted a kid's in my DM like, yo, hey, I want to be a pro. Check out my highlight tape. Man, I get, no lie, I probably get 150 emails a week from kids, either emails or DMs about kids wanting to come play for me.
So
you know what I mean?
Comes up to me next, right? What comes to your mind when you hear prep school?
Prep school is probably the same thing like a pro. It ain't for everybody, you know. To me, prep school is and this is coming because I know some people gonna watch this. This is coming from a kid that went to prep school. I went to Longberg Prep. So I'm not saying this to rain on anybody's parade, but prep school's not for everybody. You can't be a guy that averages 4 or 5 points a game in high school and go to prep school. Like, you probably tapped out your level, especially when you started the whole year in prep school and high school and you average 4 points a game. You can't tell me that you're supposed to go to prep school. Prep school, in my day, the guys that I played in prep school with were all guys that were talented enough and either were there because of grades or they were on a loaded team and they needed more exposure by going from somewhere. But mind you, I played in the era that there was no social media, no YouTube, no none of that shit. So you really needed to make a spark by going to prep school. I played on a team with a lot of guys that was like, hey, I'm 40, 50 points off on the SAT. Or I took the SAT and I need a post-grad year because I didn't get the SAT score, but I graduated high school. These kids now are using prep school. A lot of kids, I'm not going to say all of them, a lot of kids are using prep school as a tool to run from reality. And they're basically using prep to go to I don't want to go to high. I'm not a D3 player, but it's like, hey, dude, that's all you got as scholarships or offers. I'm not a D2 player. I'm a D1 player. And it's like, dude, this might really be your level. You know what I mean? A coach said it to me one time when I was coaching junior college. He said the level a kid comes from when he transfers in, so I'm like a Division I, Division II, Division III level, most of the time those guys don't go higher. They end up going either back where they came from or going lower because they weren't what they was doing. And I seen it. We had a kid, transfer in from a MEAC school when I was in Juco and ends up going Division II because nobody in the MEAC or lower thought he was good enough. You rarely see guys go back higher. I seen Division II guys end up Division III. Now I have had guys that were Division III transfers go up. That a part of that might have been because of the coaching staff, or that might have just been luck or hard work, whatever you want to call it. But
right window.
For me, exactly. But for me, I don't think that prep school is for everybody. I think that a lot of these prep schools are bullshit. And this is coming again. This is coming from a guy.
Get a 6-bedroom house and open up a prep school.
This is coming from a guy who actually recruits kids from prep schools. So I'm not just talking about it from just shooting out my mouth. I see some of these kids and it's like, well, shit. Why'd you pick this school? And it's like, my parents paid $9,000. And it's like, for what? And it's like, oh, so I can play 50-something games and we're going to go to a few tournaments and
we'll end up at the same school you had the year before.
To end up going to the same school and now your parents is $9,000 in debt because they went to a bank, because prep schools don't take out, you don't get financial aid and you can use your government money. So these parents are going to actual banks and taking out loans. You know what I mean? Like, that's a dangerous.
Impression their kid going D1.
It's a dangerous game.
School for free.
Now I get it. Nobody wants to pay to go to school. I get that. I understand that. But if Lil Johnny wasn't hooping, and he was going to go to college, you were going to have to take out a loan and stuff for him to go to school.
But see, that comes back to how can they say that when, if it's about the kid going to school, if you don't make a certain amount of money in New York State, you can go to any school in New York State for free.
Absolutely.
So now it comes back to the parent being hooked on levels too.
But here's my thing. and this is where I'll kind of try to hang my hat on. So I talk to a lot of kids that think they're at a higher level than our level. But most of the kids that think they're at a higher level than our level couldn't hold none of my players' fucking sneakers. And other teams probably in the country at our level. A lot of kids are being lied to that they're Division I players. And people don't understand is that offers and interest are two different things. They're two different things. Kids think because we send them a letter in the mail that it's an offer. They think because they get a Division I coach to talk to their high school coach, that's an offer. And then now they want to weigh their options. What they don't understand is that
they ain't got no options.
They don't have no options. And another thing is that coaches don't wait and wait and wait. If you're a Division I kid and you got 3 or 4 offers, that's something different. When you're a kid that got a Division II offer with no other offers, if you need to take that if that's what you really want, because that shit's not going to be on the table. Because when they offer you, they offer 4 other guys. And the first one to put his pen to the pad is probably the kid that they're going to take. But when I say that these kids are being lied to is, I have a 15-year-old son. He's going to 10th grade, right? In 3 years, if my son is going to prep school or has to go to prep school for whatever reason, it's got to make sense. If my son is a Division III player, then it is what the fuck it is, and my son's going to go Division III. It is what it is. We just got to find the best Division III school for him. If my son is a Division II player, he's going to go Division II. My son's a Division I player, and he's got a lot of interest, he got a lot of offers, then we're going to take the best offer. If my son goes to prep school, there's got to be a reason. It's not going to be because
we're running away from where his ceiling is.
I'm not doing
we're going to prep if it makes sense. It
makes sense.
Now, basketball exposure.
If he does go prep, when I'm talking to a school, the first question that I'm going to ask is, if you come in my house, this is not the coach in me. This is the father in me. If you come in my house and tell me that my son is a Division I player, the first question that I'm going to ask you is, what makes you think that my son is a Division I player? Because you're not going to just tell me that so that you can get my son. You got to really fucking have a reason.
What D1s did you make?
And that was my second question. That's my second question. Now, if you tell me, well, shit, we just had whoever Jones last year, and and your son is either just as good as him or better than him, and he got 5 or 6 other schools, fine. You might be able to say to me, you know what? I'm really good with point guards. You know, for me, hey, you know, you gotta sell me on it. You're not just gonna tell me you think my son is a Division I player. You think that's bullshit. I think I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I might live like one. I might have a lot of shit. I might have property, but that doesn't make me a millionaire. Like, you gotta prove why this kid is, or you're setting the parents up, because prep school is an investment. It's an investment. The same way it's taking out a student loan for your kid to go to school. The funny thing is, a lot of parents say, well, I don't want to pay for my son to go to school. I don't want to pay for my daughter to go to school. And it's like, dude, when you file for financial aid and the grants and stuff, and then you apply for admission to some of these schools, you're getting so much money that school's dirt fucking cheap. Some schools you're not paying nothing. Some school you might be paying $2,000-$3,000 a semester, and then when you look at it, you're $20,000 in debt. You know what I mean? And it's like, hey, but now my son's coming out of school with an $80,000-$90,000, you know, job where he's gonna pay that back. You know, but I think a lot of parents are misinformed. I think that prep school is starting to become a hustle. And I think it's a hustle because a lot of people are promising these kids things that they can't deliver. But by the time the parent finds out, it's too late. The kid done spent all his money, and he has nothing. You know, and I've recruited kids like that. I've recruited kids like, man, I paid $14,000. I won't name prep schools, but like I paid $14,000 to go to this school, and I still ended up going to D3 Juco. It's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
As a parent, I paid $14,000. My son's going to a D3 Juco.
I'm going to school for free.
I might want to put my hands on you. You know what I mean? Like that's like my son should be going to school for free or damn near free. You know, and I know some people gonna like, damn, and you know, he say put his hands on it. It's like, yo, $14,000 is not $140.
It's robbery without a gun.
It's robbery without a gun. But you know what though?
Early extortion.
When I coached junior college, and when we recruited kids and sent newsletter, we had like a sheet of paper that had every kid from like fucking 1970 to fucking the current year that went Division I or Division II that got scholarships. And we sent it in a newsletter to every recruit where it's like, here's the proof that if you come here, you're going to be successful. I graduate players here. You're not, everybody wants to be a pro. I get it. But you come to Wilkes-Barre, you're going to graduate. I can literally show you pictures and show you guys, you know, we champion our success by putting it out there to the world. So people know if I go there and I do this and I do that, I got a chance to be a pro. But if I don't make it, I got a chance to have a great career and get a degree. What are you selling to kids? And these schools are like pop-up shops. A lot of these prep schools.
We can get a house
tomorrow. I was just about to say that. I can get a 5-bedroom house in Georgia, get a license to name for a team, and reach out to all the prep schools, and I can charge $15,000 to have a prep school. That's to me, that's not cutting it.
High priced AAU.
That's
not every program, but
no, not everyone, because there are some good ones. I mean, you know, we from New York. Believe is down south, New York guy. He does good by his kids. Prestige is a solid prep school. Covenant is a solid prep school.
Like
there's, and I'm just naming those because they're like New York, New Jersey, like, you know, New York, New Jersey guys that I've done business with. The Robinson School, Vince, before he got out of business, he was getting kids, and there's so many, because I don't want no one to be like, damn, well, he didn't name drop. I'm just saying there's a lot of guys, and then you've got ones that I've never heard of, and I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, okay, when did this one open up? And it's like, then you go to Instagram page and it's like, oh man, they don't, or you go to their Twitter page, like, oh, they haven't sent anybody anywhere. So let's see what they look like in 3 years. And then in 3 years, they're pretty much scraping a barrel, or they done, went down. Combine Academy. You got some great ones in the South. You know what I mean? You know, what was the other joint? High Point. You got a couple.
Hey, Word of God.
Listen to this. I won't say his name. I know a kid who we brought in on visit 2 years ago. I thought the kid could play. Do I think he's a Division II player? Maybe. But I definitely think he can play for us. And he went to IMG, paid $90,000 to be at IMG, walked away with fucking nothing. Nothing.
On that note, we're gonna go to the last question I got.
90,000. And when his dad said that, I said, "What other schools you got?" His dad told me the reason why he wouldn't pick our school is he had to pay to go to school, and he just finished spending like 80-something thousand for him to go to IMG. And when I asked the kid, "Well, what team did you play on?" He said, "I guess it was one of the other teams." But you can't blame IMG, because he knew what he was getting himself into. So, and IMG is the cream of the crop. IMG is the best of the best. So for him to say, I can't go here. My father doesn't want me to go here because they paid for me to go to school last year. I can't just blame the kids. I mean, the schools. You also got to blame the parents. You gotta take the information. But his parent, just to be honest, just to let IMG off the hook. The parent told me the reason why they were willing to spend the money was because a kid that they knew, he was a foreign kid. The kid they knew from back home was at IMG and he was going to the draft. So they figured it was $90,000 investment, figuring he would be good enough to play there, and he wasn't. And mind you, 95% of the guys that we recruit at Wilkes-Barre are too good to be there, talent-wise.
Well,
but when recruiting that kid, he was solid, but he spent that money. And I say that to say, what was IMG supposed to do? Oh no, we're not going to take your money. Bullshit. Of course it was. If I got a prep school and it's like this kid's, but I say all that to say, that's the business. So you gotta the parents and any parent that watches this, you gotta ask the hard questions. You gotta be informed. You know, if IMG was 14,000 and a parent wanted to say, I would say go for it. 90, you gotta have some deep pockets to do that. But some of these prep schools that's paying 7, 8, 9, 10, and all the kids gonna do is play a lot of games, and you're gonna say they got game film. That's bullshit. Be honest with the kid. Tell the kid that this is his level, and go from there. And I think that just to let the prep schools a little bit off the hook, prep schools got to be honest, but the kids got to be willing to listen. Because a lot of these kids believe that they're better than what they are, and then when you tell them that they're not as good as they are,
you can't be honest. Just taking everybody money, and you're gonna take one kid that can really play. So it's a hard subject. But moving on to my last question. What comes to mind when you hear Pops?
My OG, my best friend. I wouldn't be where I am today without him. From him being hard as hell on me growing up, for him being my biggest critic when I started playing ball. I remember having 27 points on like 9 for 13 shooting, and he still tell me that wasn't good enough. You know, that I shouldn't have missed those shots, and I had 5 or 6 other times I could have got to the free throw line. The last 8 years has been amazing, you know, for coaching with him and just having him by my side and in the locker room and around all the assistant coaches that I've had and people that and the lives of the kids that he's touched. It's definitely going to be different without him, but that was just my OG, my best friend, man. I wouldn't be where I am, and some of these kids wouldn't be where they are. You know what I mean? So he was definitely the OG, man. Everything I do now is for him, and you know, he was definitely the matriarch of my family. So that's my OG, man. That's it.
Go in peace, Pops.
Definitely rest in peace to my guy, man.
Well, that was. I hope the people enjoy that. They got everything they wanted.
Yeah. Live and cut. I got questions for you though. You ain't getting off the hook here. You told me come on I got some questions, man. My first question, because now we're gonna dig into your life. My first question is, where the hell did you get the name? Where the hell did you get the thought to call your AAU team Death Row? And how did you think you wasn't gonna scare the hell out of nobody with that? Parents, anybody.
So the Death Row joint came about, like, I got a bunch of kids that nobody wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we putting in the work, and like, you know, it was just like get down or lay down. You know what I mean? And they took it and they ran with it. Like, you know, it's like I care about my players, man. Like, more than just like we just say Death Row because we doing it our way. You know what I mean? We don't want nothing. We independent. I'm Suge Knight, so if me and Drew is at a game, it's something we see and we like it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Drew will be like, now you know, Kai. Yeah, I'll be like, yo, Drew, how good you think he is? Like, can he be be good here. He don't look like he happy there. So now we got to see, you know, what the temperature is of the kid, you know.
So you shook,
Yeah, so, you know,
and you
and
got Tupac, Snoop,
yeah,
Bass Dillinger, and the whole crew.
yeah, you know. So,
I had to ask. I mean, growing up, I was more, and I'm probably gonna lose a lot of people on this one, but I was more of I was more of a Death Row fan than a Bad Boy fan. Like I remember growing up, I remember the '90s where I wanted to be. I wanted to like. I felt like I was from the West Coast. I wanted to be.
yeah, I mean,
I
like,
didn't. I didn't
everybody,
listen to
I
the
didn't
East
want to
Coast
be the
stuff
good
like
guy,
that.
man. I didn't want to be the good guy. And in grassroots, it get nasty, you know. And
Yeah.
so the Death Row thing, I said, like, I was like, yo, we independent. And we couldn't be Young Money. We couldn't be, you know, we had
Yeah.
to come with a force.
You had to
And
come with a force. You had to come with something different.
yeah, you know, and
All
I'm sorry to say it, but in New York City, you know, PSAL coaches, the high school coaches here, they take advantage of when they think there's no one there that cares or don't know anything. So, you know, I had to run down on a couple coaches. I had to go about things a couple certain different kind of ways.
Oh, so you were shook all the way.
Yeah, I was shook all the way. You know, I was like Big Red. You know, my office hours is from 9 to 5.
One of my favorite movies, man.
But so, you know, and my parents, they was okay with it because, like, they see the love. Like, you know, it was all love, and it was just something to make the kids feel like, you know, this is what we are. Like, you know, and they took on my brand. Like, we Death Row, but one thing they know my showcase is a diamond in the rough. So we in games and you'll hear Darren or Anton or Tyler, you'll hear them saying, we diamonds, we just shine brighter over here. Like, you know, so it was just.
I was about to ask, that was my next question. What made you like, for me, I got into coaching by accident. It was more or less, I did some camps and I'm talking to coaches and next thing you know it, I got the bug and I'm the head coach at a junior college. What for you, what made you say, you know what, I got an idea. I'm going to start the Diamond in the Rough showcase. Like, that's how we met literally a couple of months before your first showcase. And I remember talking to Gooch. And I remember you hit me up a couple of times for kids and congratulating us on success. And I'm talking to Gooch one day on the phone, and me and Gooch we just chopping it up. We just catching up. It's like, you know, me and Gooch is going. And at the time, I was up for a low major D1 job. And I remember calling Gooch like, yo, I get this gig. I want you to come with me. Mm-hmm. And he was like, man, you know, I never forget this because Gooch don't turn me down. I tell you, Gooch turned me down, yo. Gooch treated me like he was the pretty girl at the prom. I'm never gonna forget that shit. So I'm on the phone, and like I just did like an interview for interview for a Division I job, and I'm like, hey man, if I get this gig, I want you to come with me, man. I want you to be I know you don't want to coach because I know that's not Goose thing. I want you to be my player development guy. Like, I got my staff. I started reaching out to guys. I'm just hoping to get that second or third interview, and I'm going. And he like, man, I ain't trying to get into business like that. Like, I like where I'm at. I like working out my kids. I fuck with PSA. He going on and on and on. He said, but yo, on the real, you need to get with my guy Dillard. And I'm like, Dillard? I'm like, that fucking name sound familiar. I'm like, where you from? He from the Bronx. He like, yeah, man. He got his own thing going, and he start talking about you. But it's like, we on the phone, but I could see him smiling through the phone in the praise and how he was talking about you. And I'm like, man, I don't know the dude. And you know, in this business, you don't really want to work with nobody you don't fucking know, because we don't trust nobody. But he like, man, but he ain't never steered me wrong a day in my life. Like, I done coached his kids, man. I treat his kids like my sons. So, you know, he was a dude when I first got into business, and I'm like, hey, man, I need kids, man. He was like, man, can you get gauchos? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I called Bingo. Bingo's one of my OGs. Hey, Bing, I need the gym for a few hours. And he like, hey, Kimber being here at 12, you can get this joint 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and you just got to be on the floor because Kimber being there at 12. And I called Goose back and was like, hey, bro, can you jump in the gym? Can you get in the gym like 9, 10? He was like, yeah. I walk in the gym 8:45 with a donut and a butter roll and some hot chocolate. He drenched in sweat. He drenched in sweat. He done worked 3 guys out, and 20 other jokers came in. And he like, what you want me to do, Ham? I said, I'm going to sit down and watch it. This your show. And I watched him put a workout in, and I watched him work out guys, and we signed guys from his work. I actually had 3 guys come to his workout that I really wanted to take a close eye look at. And he worked them out. I'm like, I'm on the phone, like, I got to get a letter of intent. Like, and so I have never, when he says something, I listen. When he says something, I pay attention. When he says something, I know it's legit. Like,
my man,
you know, and for him to, and when he basically checked that box and said, if you get this D1 job, that's your guy for this player development shit, because he's really, really good. And I couldn't put the name to us conversing. Mm-hmm. And then he gave me a number, and when I went to call you, you was already in my phone. And I remember that day we talked for like probably like an hour, 2 hours. And I'm like, damn, I've been on the phone with this dude for 2 hours and I don't even know him. But it was good vibes. It was good conversation. So then I think like a few weeks later, you dropped the Diamond in the Rough. And I was like, wow, you know, and unfortunately I didn't get the job, but it put me in a place where it was like, okay, I gained an ally in the business. I gained another set of eyes. And if Gooch say, you know, Gooch is one of them dudes where if he say it's hamburgers on the grill, you just go grab the ketchup. You know that the burger's on the grill, you just get the ketchup. And when he said, hey, he the one, that was it for me, you know. And so, but I never, after coming to your event, seeing it go from the ground, you having another event. This year you was having another one, and then COVID fucked everything up. I never understood why. Like, obviously a Diamond in the Rough is a special slogan for everybody, but what made you pick it up all, you know, out of everything? Like, not so much why you named it Diamond in the Rough is my question. My question is more, what gave you the idea that I want to do a showcase? I want to make it for kids that are not important and not high-ranked kids. Like, what made you? Because everybody goes for the superstar. Nobody cares about the underdog, and you actually did that. So, what made you? My question to you is, what made you be different? What made you want to be different?
So I don't even talk about this. Like, my kids know, but a lot of they don't know. Like, so when I came home from up north, like, I was trying to find my way, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I knew and I started working, and like, I was like seeing myself go back, you know what I mean? And one day I just logged on to my Twitter, my old joint, so I'm in Twitter. And now I'm out of touch with a couple guys from school, like, that I went to high school with. But Gooch, like, that's my guy forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I was having my daughter, like, Gooch is part of the reason I got my daughter. Like, we ran together in high school. I was my daughter's mother at the time was best friends with his girl, and me and Gooch was left and right hand. So, you know, so now I come home, I see my man. When I was in the height of doing whatever I was doing, he was just getting into it. Now I come home, I'm on Twitter. My man is really, like, he turns his whole life around. Like, he's not the same dude he was 10 years ago.
Now, I didn't know him then, but.
Yeah, you feel me? So, like,
I could see it, though.
You know, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, damn, my man really doing this shit. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm seeing my man on jets, and I'm not hating. I'm just proud of him, because I'm like, damn, like, we did shit that a nigga ain't proud of. You know what I mean? So I was just so proud of my man, and it was like, yo, he doing what we love, like, and it's basketball. So fast
Cause
forward.
you got a story too. I mean,
Yeah,
you was big in basketball, then you went down south, played prep. I did my
yeah,
homework. I know who your uncle is. He's legendary.
yeah. So
He was
so fast forwarded. I coached in my hood. We got this little day that we came up with, and we have a little tournament. So I that was my like little first little niche. Like so,
you got your feet wet.
coached. Yeah, so I coached against my little cousins who played ball with my cousin. My cousin, his father coached them.
Okay.
I don't play too much AAU, don't play. And I coached them, and we beat them. So now that just got me like, that was a little itch right there. Like, all right. And then my cousin, he just told me like, yo, the kid that I seen, I asked him about the kid Daquan. I'm like, yo, what's up with him? Like, how you doing? He like, oh, yeah, this going into his senior year. You know what I mean? He with my little cousin Malik. Their team was bad. It was horrible. So I started getting into training Daquan. Like, I came seeing him play. Now I start training him. I don't have a gym. And then I'm just looking at it. I'm like, damn, this kid could be really good. You know what I'm saying? And I done came to a couple of his games, and now I'm seeing other kids, and I'm just like, damn, this kid could be good, but he just don't know that he's dribbling too much. Oh, this kid could be good, but he don't even know how to use his left. He's not even working on it. So now I'm seeing what Gooch is doing. So now I'm putting 2 and 2 together. Like, yo, I could do this. So at first I'm like, all right, I don't want to do the coaching thing. So I'm gonna just do the training thing. The training thing led to me sitting on Daquan and them high school bench.
Nice.
So as I'm sitting on their bench, I see like, yo, his coach didn't play basketball. Like, he just was the 10th or 11th man on his high school team. So just watching him not be able to help Daquan, and I'm just like, damn. And then I'm seeing other players. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna have my own showcase. I'm thinking of it at the time, like, yo, how could I help them? And he got killed. And it was like, my little man was about to be something special. And he got his life taken away from him. That was my dog, Daryl Adams. And he lost his life young, bro, like at 18. And so I wanted to change that. Like, my hood is too much gun violence. I wanted to change that. So I started my showcase to help young dudes that didn't have a way up, you know? And that's what that was. My man, Daryl Adams.
So with that being said, and you saying that now you say, okay, you started the diamond in the rough. How did you pick your pool of players? Because, again, most showcases go after either people that's going to pay money, or they go after the kids who are the high-ranking dudes to get us to come in the gym.
So
how did you pick your pool of players that you wanted to come to your event?
So I started, at the time I was dealing with Coach Walker. I was with Hamilton Hall Academy.
Okay.
Looking for players for that.
Hamilton Hall, another solid prep school. I forgot to name them.
So
I forgot to name them. Definitely solid prep school.
I'm dealing with them at the time, and we're looking for players, and like I was getting the showcase ready. I was already looking at certain players. You know what I mean? I'm going to showcases. I'm going to, like, in the wintertime. So I'm going to every game. And I'm just picking out what player, and then I'm talking to their parents.
So as you recruiting for Hamilton Hall, you looking at the pool of players in the state.
Yeah, because I know that
tri-state area.
Yeah, because I know that everybody can't go to prep school.
Yep.
So I'm like, damn, how else could I help? Like, then I start just taking little pieces here and there. Okay, Daquan averaged 24. I take Daquan. Then I seen this other kid, pass first guard, do it all, gets into the lane. He could score, finishes around the basket, But the best thing that he does is he moves the rock. And he's in the wrong situation. He just doesn't have a big. Trayvon Artis. Grab him up. Now I see another big. He's got the best.
Him. He was solid.
I see this big. He's got the best motor. I just know him. He reminds me of myself, little bits of.
I know that one. T-Quan Holly.
Yeah.
That's a cold cat, boy.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
His ceiling is so damn high. He don't get it.
Just
man.
Find,
he don't see it yet.
You know, I find some guys around the neighborhood some kids around the neighborhood that he just got a diploma.
Just need a
and
shot.
He just don't know, you know what I mean? And now I'm working on Twitter for my scout page and my regular joint, and I'm just blasting it. I'm sending it every day. I'm sending information to guys like you, every Division III I know. You know what I'm saying? NAIAs. I start doing my research on everything.
Division IIs. I seen it was a lot of guys in the house when I went.
Yeah, so I try to make sure that a little bit of every variety is there. And I'm just looking, and I'm just paying attention. Kids start hitting me up. I start posting their invites, you know what I mean? Posting that they got their invite, like, yo, you posted, I'm gonna repost it. Just making them feel special. Like this camp right here, like 5-star. Like that's part of the reason that I wanted to do my own showcase. Like 5-star made the game fun for me going into high school.
Absolutely.
High school, because
if you wasn't a part of those last 2 sessions, you wasn't good.
Yeah,
you didn't get
and that's what I was at. I was at the last session. You know what I mean?
2 sessions.
August 20. What is that? The 21st to like the 28th,
27th.
So I was at that last session, and that was probably the height of my basketball career. Was going to 5-star because I was a kid who didn't have a name, and I got to play with other guys who had
names. Yep.
And I went Steph Curry. Didn't nobody know who he was. We laughed at him because he like, yeah, Del Curry, my father. We like, who that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm from New York City.
You know what the fuck he is now.
Yeah. And 5-star, he hit 9 threes in a game in the Orange and White Classic. He playing on the team with no shirt on, getting crazy. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, yo, I want a 5-star feel, like type of thing. You know what I mean? I want to do it for the guys with no name. You know what I mean? And so you're gonna find some guys that's good that got a name that just ain't got a shot.
I remember going
to city kids in my showcase.
I remember going to a camp and Tony Parker was there, and all we knew was he was a dude from overseas.
And before
we all went at his neck, so I know that feeling.
I gotta give another guy his flowers because, in a sense, like when I really got into it, I took a lot of shit from him, Nate Blue.
Oh man,
I took a lot of shit from Nate Blue when I was growing up.
Hey,
real scout.
Tippy, Nate Blue, Ed Butler, with Eric Fogel, with 4 guys, and there's probably a bunch more.
Eric Fogel.
Rest in peace to Eric Fogel. With 4 guys that put together a lot of events in that era that I grew up in where you got seen. And Tippy's still around. Nate Blue is still Nate Blue. And Ed Butler still rocking. Still got, I don't miss, I try to get the Nate Blues event, but he usually do it Thursday, Friday, and I usually don't get to the city until Saturday when on showcase week. But Ed Butler, you're gonna have not by 800-900 kids in his event. That shit is all day. They got I don't eat Franks all year long, but I go to Ed Butler's event and I gotta get 2 of the Franks. And you and that joker all day long, but it's hot as hell, and it's talent. I remember one time going outside and taking my shirt off to put another shirt on because it was so hot. But those guys, they got it. Like, Tippy 6 a.m. in the morning workouts. I did a few of them. Back in the day.
That was some of it, and
James Barrett too. James Barrett has thrown some nice shows.
That's my guy. I forgot about that. You know what I'm saying? So like, just certain things, like I just took a little bit of everything that I've been through. I knew what a showcase felt like. You know what I mean? So my thing was, listen, it ain't gonna be the greatest, but only people that I had help me with my showcase from just a financial standpoint of it was my pops and Coach Walker.
Nice.
They helped back it with me. You know what I mean? But other than that,
And
I did everything on my own.
And you gave back. You gave back, and pretty much it was in honor, rest in peace to your man. It was in honor of his name. Maybe he don't pass away and you don't do that. You know what I mean? You just train it's a loss because you lost him, but it's a gain because he gave you an idea where you changed some of these kids' lives that might have been down the path that he was going.
Yeah.
They were going down that path.
Yeah, I had 37 play in my showcase, 37 kids.
That's tough.
And out of that 37, 28 went on to go to college. And another 6 went to prep school.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Now I got a question. Now, you do Diamond in the Rough. So I did a little bit of my homework. I know we talk all the time, but I did some of my homework to make sure that I came at you official. But you do Diamond in the Rough. You started Death Row. So you started Death Row first, right? Or Death Row was after Diamond in the Rough?
Death Row came after Diamond in the Rough.
So after Diamond in the Rough, you did Death Row. So I got it right. Now, before I ask you one question, I asked you why it was Death Row. I asked you about your coach. I asked you about your coach. I know the coach is all about, doing shit different and taking everything from everybody and not caring. Mm-hmm. My next question is I got a 15-year-old kid. You got Death Row. What makes your program different than all the other programs that I can send my son to? Why is Death Row different?
I mean, it's like you said, it's a family vibe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I try to be as relatable as I can be to my kids. Like, I know that when they leave me, that they could be going through anything in the world. So for the next 3 hours, let me try to make you learn something, enjoy it, and give it. And I'm going to fight for your kid like he my kid. You know what I mean? And I don't know any other way to put it because, and that's probably why I get the bad, press that I get with people because I'm a bit emotional. You know what I mean? I care too fucking much. You know what I mean? You're not gonna for instance, I had a coach I had a situation lined up for my little cousin. a D2 workout with a D2 Division II NCAA coach and a D1. So I'm telling my little cousin, you got to be here for this. You know what I mean? Your school playing in a scrimmage, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? This is
what matters.
Yeah. And the coach tells him, you can't miss the game. We playing on ESPN and da-da-da-da. It's for such and such. I don't know the last time I seen a PSAL team on ESPN was Sebastian Telfair.
That's about accurate.
So
I don't remember anyone. If it did happen, I missed it.
Exactly. So for me, it's if your kid come here, he gonna work for everything, but I'm gonna do it to my best ability that nobody play with your son's dream. No one's gonna play with your son's his drive and what he wants. I'm gonna tell you within 3 weeks, listen, your son might not be a Division I or D2 kid, but if he work his ass off, he could probably beat a kid out for a Division II. He could if he works on his game every day and he works on his craft, he gonna be somewhere.
You sound like me.
I'm never gonna. The one thing I tell every parent, I'm never gonna lie to your kid. That's the one thing I'm not gonna do, and I think that's the problem with a lot of people that coach and do AAU or whatever. They care too much what the parent thinks. You know what I mean? In the sense of things that don't matter. They feel letting the parent hear what they want to hear is helping them. Like, yeah, your son, he could be a D2, he a D2 kid, da, 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 instead of just telling them the God honest truth.
So then that makes my next question is, so for the AAU coach who wants to start his own AAU program, what is your advice? I actually had the question of what culture, how do you build a culture? But I think I want to dig a little deeper into my question. So, what is your advice? There's an AAU coach sitting next to me right now. He wants to start his own program. He's got enough money to fund it and do whatever he wants to do. He wants to know.
That's more than half the battle.
Yeah, that's more than half the battle. For sure, money is everything. But he wants to know your advice on building a culture, because you just sat here and said, and I quote you. You said, "You don't take no shit from nobody. Your guys are a bunch of kids who everybody has counted out, and y'all have proven everybody wrong. You didn't want to be like anybody else. You didn't want to do it anybody else's way. Y'all had to do it y'all way. And you're not going to lie to the kids. You're not going to lie to the parents. You're going to make these kids better players and get them to their goals by just pushing them and making them want it more." That's pretty much what you explained to me. Mm-hmm. But if I'm a coach, if this guy's sitting next to me rather, and he's sitting here and he's clueless, he's starting. What are your advice to him for him to build a culture? How's he gonna build a culture? Because he's not you. He's not strong-willed as you. He ain't scaring nobody with the big brawler. He's a skinny dude with 115 pounds, and he's trying to figure it out.
I say you gotta watch like that, and that was like me forming my team. Like outside of like me with the death row shit, like you know what I'm saying. Like I say you gotta watch like dynasty AAU programs. Like
okay,
like the number one person that I look up to in this business, or that I just look at him as like, damn, he's just doing everything right for his kids.
Munch.
Like
Munch. Never met the man a day in my life. I've studied him. I've studied him from afar.
I watched Gooch say online. He called PSA the Mafia, and I'm sold on it. He's Luciano.
I've heard many things about him. I've met Keith Stevens at Team Takeover a few times, but it was through passing. It wasn't really like, hey, we sat down and we talked over a beer or we talked over a meal. We've met, but those are the two guys to me in the business. I guess them two and the guy out with the Compton Magic are probably the three guys. The three guys that I probably look at in the business and just say they just know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But let's say he don't have access to those guys. He's asking you.
I didn't have access to those guys.
I just to know.
I
got a better question. He's giving you his AAU program, but you can't take your kids. How you gonna build a culture? How would you start the culture?
The same way I started my team. Like you gotta find your assistant. I'll say it like that, like because I feel like I was always a great assistant. Mm-hmm. So you gotta find an assistant that's gonna match your energy. Like he gonna see the things that you ain't gonna see. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But your assistant, he gotta be able to be your dog to the point where he could tell you where like he's gotta be able to disagree with you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If
can't be a yes man.
You can't have a yes man as your second. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely not.
And that's why I give credit to my guy Drew. Like, besides being a father, like he's gonna say something. I know when I can't get to a guy and tell him like how to feel. I know when he go to the bench and I sub his ass out, I know Drew gonna handle that. You know what I mean? He gonna tell him what he need to hear. He gonna coddle him the way he need to coddle him, so his head's still in the game. Then you just gotta figure out like what makes your kids go. You know what I mean? You gotta find the alpha in your joint, and you gotta put it that like that's just my like I found the alpha. I found pieces. I found each little piece by piece that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I found who was the alpha, like I put them all against each other, we're going to find the alpha. When the alpha steps out, you got to figure out what he is. You know what I mean? So now you know how to make the team fall in line. Like, they got to know, all right, he's the leader. We're going behind him.
Now, I'm going to ask this question because so obviously Death Row is different from Elite 84.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me how you transitioned from being a coach at Elite 84 and how you transitioned from there to create your own Death Row.
Shots out to Elite 84 because they gave me my shot, but with me, I don't play favorites, and I'm not going to play favorites. The best player is going to play. And at Elite 84, I couldn't do that. You know, like, if we not going to put the best product on the court, then we got to break it up. And perfect example, we played NC Loaded, right?
Okay.
We had DC and Adidas. We played NC Loaded. We played.
They had one of the number one. They had one top. Like, they had like top 20 player in the country last year.
Josh Hall.
Mm-hmm.
They got Josh Hall. They got Carter Whitman, and they got the African kid. So they got 3 guys that's probably in the top 60, top 100.
Wow.
So we going into this game, man. I'm telling.
And you going into this game with nobody in the top 600.
Exactly. So I'm telling them.
What was that experience like? Like, walk me through that. Like what are you telling your kids? Because I was always a guy that was like what do you tell your kids?
Gunpowder. I'm feeding them gunpowder the whole trip. Like, we having fun going there, everything, but I'm feeding them gunpowder. Yo, Gaga, if you go in here and you grab every fucking rebound and you try to block every shot, you leave your heart on the floor, I guarantee you they're going to know your name.
Gaga is Dakari for South Shore, right?
Yep. Okay. Nobody wanted him. Like, nobody believed in him. Like, when I came to Elite 84, Gaga was coming off the bench.
Wow. To be a starter on what the second best team in the PSAL this year?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
To
starting on an AAU team to being a starter on the second best team in the PSAL this year. That's dope. I follow him in South Shore a little bit this year.
Yeah, so now he's coming into his own. And I'm like, yo, he's got to start. But now I put in work with Gaga to where we coming in 30 minutes, an hour before practice. So his confidence is up.
His confidence through the roof.
Right? So now I'm looking at the point guard on NC Loaded. He tough, but he ain't no Nick Molina. Like, Nick Molina got heart. He fast as lightning, and he play at Christ the King. So he ready for this. Now I'm looking, and I'm like, this Josh Hall boy, he gonna be the problem. Now, before we went for this DC trip, I watched this game probably 20 times. I don't watch NC Loaded play.
He a dog.
Right? So I'm like, damn, he gonna be on a mock draft somewhere. I'm like, all right.
Who'd y'all have sticking? Who started on him? Because I'm pretty sure it was collective.
So we sat Sylvester. We started a player and started him. Started Dorian.
Okay.
Dorian used to be the spark off the bench too. But now I'm thinking Gaga energy and Dorian energy. That's gonna be something different because now you got Nick who fast and he played defense. Gaga, Dorian who played for you.
Yes, he did.
Dorian Haynes locked Josh Smith up in the first half. All he had was 9.
Very, very solid defender. Very long, lanky, mobile guy. Very, very.
Locked him up.
Got potential to be great.
He locked him up. Now, when he locks him up, we bring another kid in the game. He has a bad game, but his mind state isn't where it should be. You know what I mean? And now me and this kid, we done got super close at the time, I'm thinking, damn, he's not even ready for this. Like, I thought he would have been ready. So him not ever coming off the bench as a player, that fucked him up to where he couldn't understand why he came off the bench. Like, it wasn't that you're not a starter, but
it was a matchup situation.
Yeah, it was a situation where that kid is way too athletic for you. He just does too much, and Dorian's not.
Hey, at one point wasn't he on the circuit last year? At one point, averaging like 30 a game.
Exactly, he was the number 2 player in the circuit last year on the Adidas. So now that happens. Dorian he's averaging 30. Dorian kept him to 16.
Wow. But okay, so
now
you're telling this story, I got a question.
So
how do you handle that? How do you tell a kid that it's not you per se, it's just matchup? You know, because I asked that because we had Khalil White, who was probably our leading scorer last year, come off the bench. And I know he looked at me like I had two heads, but
personally, I'm just gonna tell him it is what it is. Because at this time too, you got Dorian Pops on the other side of the court yelling the same shit that I'm yelling. Like, he couldn't play defense at that time. That just wasn't the player that he was. You know what I mean? And at some point, as a coach, you got to be able to tell him, like, tonight, baby, you got to sit down because you're not the guy tonight.
And at the next level, he's going to have to defend. If he can't, he's going to.
No, it's not that he couldn't. It was just that he wasn't.
No, I said at the next level, he's going to have to learn. He's going to have to defend.
So now we lose this game, but we lose by like 5. Okay. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, yo, we just played a hell of a game. We got to go with that same 5. And the coach says, nah, I got to start him. Bro, he just shot 2 for 11. Why are we going to start him? He's like, because if I don't start him, that's going to fuck up the whole trip, and he's not going to be in it, this, that, and the third.
So it sounds
like we had a whole team to make one person happy. That's not going to work.
That's not going to
because now everybody else is going to feel away, this, that, and the third. And me and that kid, he thought that I didn't like him for that reason. You know what I mean? And we had our differences, and now he goes to prep school, comes back a year later, and me and him have open conversation. And he says it like, yo, I used to think you was an asshole, and like, you know what I mean? Like, you just didn't like me or whatever. He was like,
got it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And now he's seen the shit that I was telling him in his game needed work. Now you fast forward. We're in the summertime. We're in the coaching in the game at West 4th. Kid just caused 3 turnovers, and he just gave up like 7-8 points.
So you deciding to go with the role sounds like it was just a difference of philosophy.
Yeah, in the sense of, so what happens is,
and I say difference of philosophy because you said you didn't want to coach, you wanted to train, but you just thought at that point it was more about just what's right.
Yeah, because so now like we doing the summer thing, and when we do the summer thing, it's like, all right, we're gonna be in these good tournaments where dudes is playing with some of the best in the city.
Absolutely.
You can't go with your favorite, because he played for me this long. Nah, let's put the best thing on the court.
You want him getting your head knocked off.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
So let's put the best thing on the court. We can't say, how are we helping the game and the kids if we say, well, he's been my starting point guard since he was 12 or 13, but you know that him right here is the goods. You know that he's not better than him. Let's put him and that other kid that is good. Let's put them together. Let's make that work.
So you telling me Death Row is no politics, bro?
No politics.
No politics. It's hard work, sweat, and blood.
I roll a ball out. Like, you gonna fight. It's the same shit like your shit. You gonna fight for. You gonna fight.
Yeah. I don't care if you're a junior. I don't care if you're a junior, senior, freshman. You want to play. You gotta earn it.
Right? People don't understand. This is why I love Anton Berger so much. Right? Because he a kid that took what I said and he just ran with it. Right? anybody that ever felt, and I don't tell him this, but anybody that ever hits my DM, oh, you think he better, he good, da-da-da-da-da, come on down. Take his spot. Come to our gym. But when you come to our gym, you're going to play defense. We're going to play man defense. If you ain't gonna, we ain't doing that fouling. We're not trying to hurt each other. It's coming here, and you're going to fight for it. Show me you better than him. That's it. Show me. I had your player. I had Ray Pender last year playing against a bunch of kids from high school that probably never played a college kid.
Mm-hmm.
And look what that did. I had Andrew Lara going up against who nobody knew. When I met him, he averaged 2 points and 3 rebounds. And it was his first year ever playing basketball. I had him playing against Ray Pender and other college kids all summer and working out in that hot-ass little CYO gym. What happens this year? That same 2 points, 3 rebound kid who's on the same team with the same kids from last year led his division in points and rebounds.
Nice.
Same thing with Tari Lewis. I put the time in with him, come to practice early. Don't worry about that. Just do this. He listened to me. He became the defensive anchor on that team and one of the best players in the city this year.
Yes, he did.
So
yes, he did.
I'm not going to play favorites. If you put the time in, it's going to work. And no disrespect to them over there. Like, those my guys. But I'm not going to play favorites. You know what I mean? Like, if Mike Randall's my big, Carlito was his sidekick. What happened? Marco came in and got better than Carlito. So guess what happened? Marco moved into the starting 5.
Mm-hmm.
When he came, we seen the potential that year. Marco could be the guy. He could be the stretch big we looking for. But those first 2-3 weeks of practice and workouts, Carlito was busting Marco ass. But getting your ass bust. You're going to get tired of being a laughing stock in this workout. Because guess what? They don't got to say nothing. Kai going to make you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going to get tired because I'm like Ka-Ching in practice. You know, I'm like Ka-Ching in practice.
Shout out to him, man.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm Ka-Ching in practice. Like, Anton hates me in practice but loves me in the game because I'm doing the same shit. Like, I'm going to hype the next man up to get Anton mad. So now once he gets mad, it's time to play now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I say that, and I'm going to leave it at this. If you didn't play high school ball or you didn't play ball anywhere, how can you – if you was the guy – I didn't start coaching at 17 or 18 or none of that. I played ball at that age. I was really on the court. So now if you didn't really play this sport or you didn't really love it, you wasn't that guy. You really can't relate to it because you playing favorites because that was you. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it. You was the guy at the 8th, 9th bench, or your pop's friend coached the team, so you got playing time. Nah, you got to fight for it over here.
Nice. Well, you answered my question with the building culture. Because basically say roll your sleeves up and you got to fight. Yeah. So you did a word association thing with me, so I'm gonna try you back, man. I'm gonna see. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions and tell me what first thing comes to your mind. Gotcha. I'm going to start with work ethic because you're a personal trainer. You're a trainer. When you hear the words work ethic, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Nah, you got to just, every day you got to want it. Like, you got to want to do better than you did the day before. So, when we running laps, if we running laps and we do 10, try to do 11. You know, like, I watched Marco Bada come in and he was a CYO big. Like, and now he's in the best shape of his life on my team. The
I
best
like
shape.
Him.
You know what I mean?
Him.
Like,
I've been watching your footage. I like him.
Yeah, like, I don't got to tell Marco after workouts. Like, he done fell in love with working out so much. I don't got to tell him after workouts, give me one more. He goes and gets 3 more.
Tell him he got to offer an opportunity for me. I like the Marco.
I got you.
I watched him. I watch his stories. I watch your posts. He's gotten better over the years, and he
over the years. I've only had him for 4 months.
No, I said over the year.
Oh yeah, I've only had him for 4 months, and
I actually did some homework, some digging on him. I actually watched like a couple of highlight tapes he had on YouTube, a couple of games I seen on YouTube,
Big difference.
And you see the difference in who he is now from who he is on the film with you. I do remember watching him play a little bit in the event y'all played in December, and I looked at him and was like, man, he's skilled, but he's soft as shit. And I did think that. And then over the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, it's like, okay, he getting stronger. He ain't letting nobody push him around. He getting tougher.
And
I think he just needed.
I can't take full credit of that. Like I gotta give the credit where it's due to like his teammates. You know what I mean? Like Mike bust Marco ass every day in practice and took nothing off.
You also as good as the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you got guys around you every day pushing you, you guys make each other better.
And that's why I love, like, because my team didn't start out like that. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't start out that tight. So that's why I love them, too, because Carlito could have been real salty and real mad and wanted to play for somebody else when Marco came in and started getting more of his men.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he just pushed him and told him, like, nah, bro, do your thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, or Anton coming up to him and explaining to him, like, yo, bro, you gotta be tougher than that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not yelling at him, but, you know, telling him. And Drew's a big part of that. Like, you know what I mean? Going over, putting his arm around Marco. Listen, you got to get in there and fucking rebound. You got to
culture, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It comes back to the culture, man.
I got to give it to Randy, too, from BMCC, you know, bringing us down to the fucking NYPD center and letting us get working.
When kids believe in the culture, it brings something else out of them that they didn't have. When the kids believe in the coaches that are coaching them, they bring something out of them.
And that's what happens. And that all started with, even before Anton Daquan, that started with my little cousin DJ and Deontay. Like, you know what I mean? And then Daquan, like, me and Daquan didn't have no fucking gym his senior year. You know what I mean? Like, we in the cold. It's fucking below 15, below 20 outside. And we in the park getting shots up. I've got him going behind the back and doing his floater.
That's hunger.
You know what I mean?
That's hunger.
Daquan had 6, 7, 40-plus point games his senior year.
Yikes.
So I just know, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just tell kids all the time, you want to learn from somebody who's never played anywhere, like no all-star games, no camps, no nothing. Yeah, I got a couple camps under my belt, played here, played there. But guess what? The person that I learned the game from, he played for LaSalle with Ron Artest and God Shamgard. He went D1 Juco, went to the national championship and won. He gave Steve Francis 41 in the chip game. My uncle got drafted in the second round of the NBA. Like, that's who I learned the game from. My other uncle, God rest his soul, Mike Chatfield. They asked Ron Artest on TV, who's the hardest player you ever had to guard? He said, my uncle, Mike Chatfield. Mm-hmm. These is niggas that I learned the game from. You know, so, like, you rather, like, I'm going to teach you how to get a bucket because that's what I learned, how to get a bucket. Like, I really played this game. I didn't play lacrosse and football and basketball was my third sport. Like, I love this game, and I want to see it get better. Like, how do you teach a kid a step back before you teach him how to do a floater? Mm-hmm. How do you teach a kid, you got to be able to cross him up and go left behind your back, but you don't show him the simple how to snap his wrist and follow through, even if his form is ugly. Just teach him the right way to do it. You know?
My next question. So I got work ethic out the way. Give me your top 5 grassroots programs right now.
Top 5 grassroots programs. All right. You know, I'm going PSA, Takeover, Compton Magic.
Still got 2 more.
I like the boys Seattle Rotary.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put the Jayhawks in there. I like the Jayhawks.
Okay, I was wondering if you was gonna put 2 New York teams in there. Okay. Next question. So I went over that. I'm gonna save my juicy one for last. We did work ethic. Dawg Academy. Because you just a man of many fucking setups. It was Diamond in the Rough. You got fucking Death Row and Dawg Academy.
Yeah.
I've been seeing the hashtags of Dawg Academy. So talk to me. Dawg Academy.
All right, so Dawg Academy is a little bit of everything, man. You know, like you're gonna work for it, you're gonna grind, but you're gonna apply yourself in every aspect. In the classroom, working out, being respectful, you know, but basically Dawg Academy, I help get kids into situations where, like, I always say I want to be like Munch and getting kids out of the city, you know. So Dawg Academy is where you sign up for my program and I help you, you know, we get your film, get you on a couple workouts, and I put you out there to coaches, you know, whether it be prep school or college. That's what Dawg Academy is, you know, but you got to be a dog. Like, you got to come in and you got to work your ass off every day. There's no, all right, I'm going to take today off. You got to maintain over a 75 GPA. You know, it's a lot to it, but you got to be able to do this because this is what we working for. You know what I mean? So you got to be a dog every day. Every day you got to win.
Next question. I came to watch you play. I seen you guys get after it defensively. I consider myself a real offensive guru, but I love it. It really hypes me up to see guys play defense. I love watching guys play defense. Like, I'll let you fuck up on the offensive end 2 or 3 times, but you're not gonna fuck up on the defensive end 2 or 3 times and stay in the game. You can be 5 for 10 or 5 for 11 and stay on the floor, but you blow 5 out of 11 assignments, you probably not getting on the floor no time soon. Who's your favorite 5 players that you've coached, I guess, and all your stops defensively?
In no order.
No order.
No order. All right.
I ain't gonna put no pressure on you. No order. Just 5 of your 5 favorite defensive players.
Taquan Holly, because he can guard from the 1 through the 5, 94 feet. Like,
that's one.
He gonna rebound and he gonna play with a motor.
Mm-hmm.
Second, Gaga, without a doubt. Like, Gaga, I've besides Taquan, I've never coached a kid with the motor like Gaga. Like, he gonna go get it. He gonna go get it. You know, like, but I put that in his mind. Like, if you want to get paid blocking, rebounding, right now where you're at in your career, that'll get you anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want is a block and a rebound away. And
the way he defend, absolutely.
Yeah, triple-double off of just pure energy and heart. My third best defensive, Dorian Haynes.
Okay.
Dorian, he's best. Like, he's an out-of-control pest, but he's like a light-skinned Ron Artest. Like, he's a nut in the head. Because Dorian will, like, he's probably one of my funniest players I ever coached, because Dorian will do some nut shit in the game, and he'll really ask you, like, do you think I was wrong here? Like,
I've experienced that on quite a few.
But he's gonna play.
Very solid, very good defensive player. The sky's the limit on if he just listens and locks in on how great of a defensive player he could be at the college level, for sure.
Fourth, let's see, my fourth. I would put Darren Joyner in there.
Okay.
Darren led the state this year in steals. He averaged like 7 to 8 steals a game.
Well, sure. I mean, you lead the state in steals. He should be in your top. He should be in your top list for sure.
Right? And Darren was a kid that I didn't see it at first. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be good, but he gotta show me he could do more. And then, like, I seen Darren lock up some of the best in the city. You name it. I seen Darren go not give a damn who Hassan Diarra was.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I seen him play. We played Zaire Baines. Both games going into that. I got him.
Nice.
We played Holy Cross. Shouts out to my guy over at 114 in the general, Tyler Chapman. We thought we had the game first half, but Darren did his fucking job, and he guarded him with no problem. So Darren is definitely in it. My fifth, I got to put two guys at the fifth because Jermaine Griffiths grabbed every fucking steal in the championship game. Like, from my first championship to the last one I won, Jermaine Griffiths always gets the last steal of every game. Like, the championship game, when we need a steal and it's crunch time and we're down by one, it's like, all right, Mano's going to get the fucking steal. Anton's going to hit the game winner. That's just how it's been. Mano, I haven't coached a kid like him before. Like, his work ethic is just fucking different. And the other fifth person with him is Mike. Like, I watch Mike. Mike gonna just go get it. Like, he gonna try to punch every Mike is Gaga, but 40, 50 pounds heavier. You know what I mean? He might not be as athletic as Gaga, but Mike is the enforcer. You know what I mean? Like, Mike is T-Quan, but he's just fun-loving. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even when he get mad, he just look like a big-ass bear. You know? So, yeah, I got Mike, and Marco's on the rise.
I'm here. I'm just thinking of another. I'm just going through my notes.
Got you.
Name your five best. I say, give me the three kids that you love to train the most. If you can only pick three kids to train tomorrow, out of all the kids, you said 60-something, 70-something kids, 70-something. You said you got 70-something kids in your stable, three kids, five. I give you five. Five kids that you've coached or you've trained in all these years that are your guys.
All right, so he don't get put in the top five, but he's the reason that there's a kid being trained by me anywhere. DJ, you got that. DJ, the reason that I train kids. All right.
Okay.
In no order, Jermaine Griffith.
Okay.
Right? Mano. The first one he don't count. That's my little cousin, but he started. Okay. Mano, I got Mano in there because Mano just gets after it. Like, he works hard. That kid is a fucking robot. Anton Berger, when locked in, he's fucking deadly. Like, when he gets it, he gets it. Daquan Lewis. We was in the cold. We got it out the mud. Like,
15-degree weather.
Yeah, Daquan is in there. Gaga gotta be number 4. And number 5 gotta be Marco, Mike, and Carlito.
No. You can only pick one. I gave you 5 after giving you 3. You can't.
So it gotta be Marco and Mike because, like, just their growth. I gotta put both of them there, like, because Marco just works hard. Like, okay. And Mike became a big skilled guard.
You gave me 6 guys. You got a chance to work out in Madison Square Garden tomorrow. You can only bring one person to work out. Who you bringing?
I'm going with the money. I'm going with who I'm putting the ball in their hands. I'm going with my guy. I go with him against anybody in the city. You heard me say it. I'm going with Anton. I'm going with Showtime.
So you taking Anton to Madison Square Garden to work out?
Yeah. I'm taking Joe.
Next question. I only got 2 more questions. I got 3. Give me your top favorite, your 5 favorite players to coach. No order, just 5. Not 6, not this person and another person, just 5.
Got you.
Because you cut me off when I tried to talk about all my guys.
Got you. All right. 5 to coach. Damn. Anton.
Mm-hmm.
Gaga.
That's 2.
Mike.
That's 3. You're going to hurt a lot of feelings here.
Yeah, I know. Who else to coach? T-Quan.
That's 4.
I said Mike.
Mike, T-Quan.
I gotta say Trayvon Artis.
Really?
Yeah, because Trey just makes the fucking game probably the easiest out of everybody I've coached. Like,
Definitely a solid point guard.
with
think,
Trayvon, like, he's probably the only player I had to yell at to fucking score.
well,
Like,
he is your typical old-fashioned point guard.
he reminds me a lot of Rajon Rondo. Like,
yep.
you know, Tony Parker, he's a guy that's gonna get in the lane.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna, like, you gotta tell him to score. Like,
when I see Trayvon Artis, at times I think of Jerron, a bigger Jerron. Except I think Jerron's a better scorer.
And that's one thing that I love about Trayvon. Like, he's always gonna ask questions. Like, and he's just a student of the game. Like, he's always trying to find a way to put this guy where he's gonna look good. You know what I mean?
Those are guys that pull it off, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's my 5. And
you won 4 championships.
He didn't really play for my team, but I got Nick Molina in there because he's just tough. He always gave it for me when I coached with Elite 84.
You coached 4 championship teams last summer. Name your favorite one and why.
I have 2. I'm gonna be honest.
No, you get one.
I have one.
One.
I have one.
You got 4 trophies sitting in your house. If the building is burning,
I'm grabbing 2.
You can only grab one. You can only grab one.
Can I tell you why I'm grabbing 2? Because the first one was my first one ever, and it was by myself, and it was with the group that I built it with. You know what I mean? And
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that one.
The second one was the last one I won with that same group that's about to leave. So it was like 2 different. And then that second one we had to go against. I had to play Gooch Kid to get it. So that second one was different. Like, so.
Did you call Gooch afterwards and tell him?
Of course, I called him when I seen him. I said, "Yeah, I gotta send him home with the loss on this one." You know what I mean? Shouts out to Zaire. That's family, but man, listen. Anton knew I wasn't letting that one down if we lost.
Oh, man.
I said, man, listen, Gooch trained him. That's my man. But, today, we got to be one up. Because when I go to talk to my man, I got to be able to say, like, yeah, we got this W. Like, so the first one, it was just special, man.
It was the beginning to the run.
Yeah,
the second one
cried on the first one. Like,
hey, man, ain't no
first
wrong
one,
with that.
I can't lie, like, it was just so beautiful, bro. Like I started with kids that nobody wanted. Like, dudes like, oh, what you see in him? Or like, you came to my first game that I coached. I coached my first game. You was there. Like, you gave me the pep talk. Like, and I've been coaching that same way from that first time. When I'm like, yo, bro, I'm nervous. Like, I ain't ready to do this. You like, yo, just do this shit like you playing 2K. And that's how I've been coaching ever since. Like,
that's the only way.
So, that was just special to do it with point guard. You got to see it. He flourished into one. It was just beautiful, man. Like, that first one was, it was different. Then the second one was great. Shout out to Crunch Time. That's these guys right here. You know what I mean? Shouts out to them, man. You know what I'm saying? 2019 full champs. You see what they say on the side? Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? You know how we coming.
All right, I got
Shout out
one
to
more.
my man Tyreek Owens, you know, St. John's things, you know what I mean?
So I got one last question. I guess this is the topic. When you hear the word prep school, what's your thoughts?
Robbery without a gun.
So you
Oh,
I can't believe you said that. But I mean,
I've been doing the prep thing for a while now. Prep kids gotta understand, and parents need to find out the best education about it that they can. You know, like there's horror stories with this shit.
absolutely.
You know, I had kids. You know, my kids Zach and what's the name, and another kid Bill Manny. They went to a school in Florida, paid $14,000. Word, paid $14,000 and wasn't even getting meals to eat at night.
Jesus.
Kids was fighting when I was recruiting Zach. His mom just wanted to know that he would be able to wash his clothes and nobody else would. You know what I mean? Like nobody's gonna take his clothes. So it's the Evelyn Mack story. You know, you got to know what you're going to prep school for. Like if you, I tell kids this: if you average under 20, you shouldn't even be thinking about prep school. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
If you average if you play in, let's say, because we're from the city, if you play in PSAL and you don't play AA, the best division, and you don't average over 20, what are you going to prep school? You don't average over 10. Let's say that. If you don't average over 10, what do you go? Excuse me. What are you going to prep school for to play a national schedule? And you're not at that caliber. So it's a scare. I just think it's a great opportunity for some guys. You know, if your parents could afford it and it's not a problem, then go ahead by all means. You know, but to say, oh, I'm gonna take this chance on me, I'm gonna bet on me, and no one's being honest with you about your ceiling, you're fighting a losing battle. And that's probably more than 60% of the kids in the prep school postgraduate world. You know what I mean? Like, dog, if a kid played 4 years of AAU, top AAU basketball, then played 4 years at a very good high school, what is another year of post-grad prep? What is that going to do for him? He is who he is. He's just not – it's not that the coach didn't give him a shot. He's not better than the guys on the team.
So my question to you in that is what's your message to your parents? If any parent, you know, obviously I'm going to share this and I'm going to tweet it and put it on Instagram and go all over
if
crazy
you're a parent,
what is your message to your parents?
Ask as many questions as you can to the point where they feel uncomfortable of being able to answer something. If they can't, they should never feel uncomfortable answering a question about their program, about something that's going to benefit
I never thought about it like that.
Right? Because it's nothing you can ask me about Dawg Academy, the role. There's nothing you can ask me about my programs and I'm going to feel uncomfortable or I'm going to start sweating the same way I can't ask you anything about your program.
Absolutely.
Right?
I can talk about my program all night long.
Right? So with that being said, parents need to start looking into asking these coaches, where have you sent players? What's your caliber of players? What's your relationship with coaches? What can you guarantee that my son's going to pick up from this outside of just basketball?
Development period. Can you
know what I mean? Like,
my kids?
Like, what are you going to promise me that my son's going to pick up besides just basketball for when he goes to college? Because now is my son going to learn to become independent by staying at your school and learning that he's got to do his laundry on his own? Because you and I both went to prep, so you know that that's what it's like. It was like a lot of kids don't know. You go to Oak Hill, you're going to be doing your laundry. You're going to be in bed by 9, lights out by 9:15.
It was college.
Exactly.
It was really preparation for college. You
And
know,
I
I
think
didn't have to do my I didn't have to do my laundry until I went to prep school. My mom did my laundry.
that's some of the things
You
that
know,
kids and parents gotta understand. Like,
all I had to do is make up my bed, keep my room
just
clean.
stop running from. And I feel like that's just social media, and that's us people. When I say us, like the stigma of this whole D3 thing. Like I know D3s that probably can't fuck with me and my AAU team. You know what I'm saying? But then there's D3 programs that I wouldn't dare put my guys on the court with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not ready for that just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like D3s like Keene State. Shouts out to them guys. You know what I mean? Like,
have a good program.
it's situations where, like I tell my guys, anybody could go to a D3, but can you go to a top-ranked D3 that play a stronger schedule than a D1 or a D2 and play? Because now that's the upper echelon. You know what I mean? That's who you should be looking at. Stop looking at the team that only won 10, 12 games and they just playing to try to win their conference. Look at the guys that's going to nationals. Oh, that window start. They're not even looking at you. You're not even on they board. Like, so
it's real fast.
Yeah, and you see the difference. And I feel like that's what humbles guys, because some guys go D2 Juco because they think, oh, I just got to go to a scholarship. And guess what? After that, his ass end up at a D3 just because he's just happy to be playing college ball. So,
dude, I coached at a Division II junior college, and we sent, I think, 14 guys Division I and 12 guys Division II in 3 years. And we had one Division III player, and it wasn't because he was a Division III player. He wanted to go to the division. He wanted to go to the school that he went to because they had a program for that the schools that was recruiting him didn't have. And he wound up going there, and because he was so good academically, he didn't even play. He just focused on school.
yeah, that's like I tell kids, man.
So, and he had NAIA offers, he had Division II offers, but no one had the program that he was looking for.
And that's why I tell guys, you gotta look at what works for you. Like, it's something like you told me, bro, and I preach that to my kids. Don't get caught up in levels, get caught up in programs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get caught up in majors and minors. Get caught up in grants and loans.
Yeah. And because the thing is the kids, what happens is kids sit, we recruited a Division I kid, or a kid that had a preferred walk-on spot. And I said, you're going to take a walk-on spot to sit on the bench for the whole year. So you're just going to get gear and you're going to travel, stay in the hotels and just not play at all. When you could come here and get a better degree and get a chance to play for some chips, win a couple of rings, you know what I mean? And potentially have a chance to play after college. And I say potentially have a chance because he was a big kid. He was like 6'8", 6'9", and he was talented. I think he could have came in and probably been one of the best bigs in the country maybe in a year or two, and then had 4 years to play. And he was going to choose a 4-year Division I school just to sit on the bench where he never was going to play. Some kids, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm getting a scholarship. It was like, no, dude, you about to pay to go to school. So why would I pay to go to school to sit on the end of somebody's freaking bench when I can pay to go to school somewhere where I'm going to play, get some exposure, and have a shot to either play after college or just get an amazing degree. So I agree with you 100% on that. I do think a lot of these kids don't really understand how hard it is to play at schools like ours and some of the schools. Shit, Washington and Venice beat 3 Division I's this year.
Shout out to my guy, Coach Carey.
They beat 3 Division I's this year.
Carey is that guy.
I've played 2 Division IIs in the last 2 years and gave them hell. You know what I mean? We played Central Connecticut, and I think we lost by like 16, 17, but it wasn't because they blew us out. We literally stayed in the game to probably toward the end where we was like down like 7.
Hey, I watched y'all play Norfolk, and y'all had them going into the half, and they had to go into a zone. Bro, Jones my guy, but they had to go into a zone to beat y'all.
Hey, I don't know what the fuck Rob Jones said to those kids in that locker room, but whatever he said, I've never seen a group of kids come out as tough as they
Probably
did.
the same shit me and Drew be telling Anton in the car. We lose. Guess who walking home?
No, Rob probably said you all don't have a scholarship if you don't fucking win this game. We went in the locker room down 5. He walked past me mad as a motherfucker. I'm walking in smiling because I'm just saying to myself, shit, we got a chance to stay in this one a little longer. Maybe we got a chance to win. Maybe we lose. And they came out and played well. I remember Central Connecticut the year before. We lost by 19, but we was down 7 with like 4 minutes to go. And I cleared the bench. My players were pissed at me for doing it. But I cleared the bench, and I played a lot of guys who didn't play a lot for us just so they could get that Division I experience. I didn't really give a damn about about losing because I just looked at it like shit. What my players needed to show me was what I needed to see was y'all are good enough to play on that level. So you can't play down to nobody else for the rest of the year. And they win a national championship. So, but a lot of these kids think because it's a level that you ain't that good and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
The best player to this day that we've played against that in the 5 years I've been at Wilkes-Barre is a kid named Dustin Sleever. He goes to Shippensburg. Well, he went to Shippensburg University, which is a Division II in Pennsylvania. The boy, after his freshman year, got recruited by Pittsburgh, which is in the ACC, to transfer. And he said, no, I'm going to stay here Division II, and I'm going to kill everybody and average a double-double. The same shit he could have did in the ACC, but he decided to stay there. And guess what? He's in Europe now playing for money. 6'8", put on the floor like a guard.
That's like
guard. He did everything.
That's like
levels don't always mean shit. It don't always mean anything.
We went to a little school, and like I tell guys all the time, you wanna control the narrative, and that's something that I learned from watching PSA College. You want to control the narrative, so why not? If we got a chance to go together and help each other, like I'm pretty sure I knew it. Me and you spoke about this before the season started. You know what I'm saying? But I evaluated my guys, and that was the best move strategically. And look what happened. Darren led the state in fucking steals. Anton led the state in triple-double in points per 32 and averaged a double-double, which he hasn't done in his career. He had to learn to play stronger. Christian led the state in three-pointers made and attempted.
I did see that.
Taliban led the state in assists.
So it comes to a point where it's kind of like
when you go where you can be, some people take notice. And I took kids that none of my kids spoke to college coaches. They all had over 10 offers this year, at least 10 offers.
I post it all the time. Who's next? Because sometimes it's just a door, it's just a barrier that's open. And when you talk to my guys and you did some interviews, I watched some of them and I just knew what they were going to say before they even said it. A lot of my guys, you hear words like bet on yourself. I bet on me. I did everything coach had to ask me to do or told me to do. I trusted the process. Those are things you hear guys say. Those are things we say to guys all the time. But a lot of kids are not willing to say, I'm going to go to this school and bet on me. I'm going to go to this D3 and bet. If you, in my opinion, you're a D2 kid and you definitely feel like, man, I'm a D2 kid. I ain't no D3 player. All right. You don't got no D2 offers, but you think you're a D2 kid? Well, go D3 and kill everybody. Go kill everybody.
Shouts out to Top Murphy.
And for me, I watched Chris Canteen do it. I watched him average 23 points a game and was an All-American 2 years in a row. I watched Colton Lewis get 5-19 rebound games and 7 games other than the 19 rebound games where he had between 15 and 18 rebounds. He wasn't no D2 player. He wasn't no D3 player. He came and dominated the league. That's why he's a pro. So I watched a bunch of guys of mine. I got 15 guys in my pro stable, and 5 at Wilkes-Barre. I watched guys dominate the level They didn't deserve to be there. That was the level and that was it. So it tickles me when a kid says, I'm not a Division II kid. I'm not a Division III guy. I'm a Division II guy, but he gets no offers and no opportunities. And you got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Division II programs. And nobody likes you. You played in New York and you got Dominican and you got Concordia and you got NYIT and you got, St. Staten Island and St. Thomas Aquinas and all these schools right here in New York, and then you got all those schools in Connecticut, and then you got the ones Adelphi and all them upstate. You got all these schools, and nobody recruited you, but you're a D2 player. It's like, stop it. You know what I mean? Like, it's I find it just baffling. It's like, because then it goes from being, well, I didn't get an opportunity because my coach, my AU team, my this and my that, and it's like, man, just
and that goes back to saying, like, that's one thing that I feel not one kid. How many kids could say, like, can't one kid that ever played for me or came into my program could ever say that he came into my program and didn't get a fair opportunity or, you know what I'm saying, a fair shake at it, because I work my ass off to get coaches in the gym to make it happen. So I don't understand how guys can say they're for the kids or for the culture and say, I don't tell kids what to do as far as this or that. You know what I mean? I don't direct them in that direction.
Not as a coach, you're a part of a mentorship. You're supposed to mentor the kid and make sure that the kid doesn't make the wrong decisions. Now, sometimes the kid's gonna make his decision no matter what you say.
And and that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes a kid gonna make the wrong decision, but and I think that's what made me want to just get off and get the road started, because how could I say this is my program or I'm the director of anything and I'm not making it my business? The one people that my kids need the most to come see them. What the fuck are we playing basketball for? Just to be playing these games? How do you be a director or to have 8 teams, 8 AAU teams or 4 teams, and no one's making it their business to find a way to get coaches? Exactly. To get coaches in the gym.
Wrong reason. Hey, I say this and I stand on it. The day that it's not about helping the kids, I don't want to do this anymore. I'll stay in this business for as long. Now, I'm not saying I don't want to make money. Of course, that's a part of the business. But the day that me wanting to make more money is more important than the kids, then I got to get out the business, because I'm not in it for the reasons that I got into it for. And I'm not saying that because I got this, but I love it. I love what I do. I love watching those kids walk across that stage in graduation. I love watching those kids win championships. I loved watching each and every kid walk up that ladder and cut that piece of that net. I love talking to my guys and we going over championship vibes and things. I love talking to some of my former players that I didn't win championships with. Yeah, I talked to one kid in particular more than I talked to anybody, and that's Nick Doolin. He played for me 2 years ago. He had he had an okay season. He had some injuries throughout the year. He took off after his junior year. He's a D2 transfer. He took off his senior year. He had to take care of his kid or whatever. And he graduates in December, but our relation, he's got a chance he's got invited to some training camps for some pro teams because he can play, shoot, he can play a solid guard.
That's what
I talk to Nick all the time, and it's not about basketball. I talked to him a few weeks ago till 2:30 in the morning because he just needed someone to talk to. He was going through something. So the day that those things are not important and it's all about money and politics, I don't want to do this shit because that's not what I got into it for. And I think that a lot of these guys are really sacrificing the kids for their own personal gain, and I think it's fucked up. But it's happening all across the board from AAU to high school to AAU to prep school to Division 1, 2, 3.
That's why I
Everybody's
was
got
like,
motives. So
man,
it's
if
hard.
you do right by a kid, bro, and you do everything, it's
It
gonna
comes
come back.
back around.
And the parents, it's like I heard Money say something, man, and it was getting a kid the right situation and the family being happy. I got to really see that last year, like when I started my showcase, kids that never spoke to coaches or like kids that never got to feel like the stars that they wanted to be, they got to feel like at my show. Quan Holly and Trayvon Artist got to hear from you. You know what I mean? As a national coach, like you just came off a championship. They like, damn, and he here to see me. You know what I mean? Like they felt appreciated. You know what I mean? They felt out there. And shouts out, like I gotta give my love and respect to people like the Haynes family, like Dorian's family. You know what I mean? They always show me love and respect and being thankful for what I helped them do and getting them a D1 workout, hitting them with you, you know, just being there for them. Jermaine mom, she always, hey, if any of your kids need anything, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Drew came on this with me with just trying to see what I could do for his son, you know, and then he wound up being my assistant and giving love to these kids. And you know what I'm saying? They know they could call me a Drew 3, 4 in the morning. I get calls like, yo, coach, where can I get a plan B? Can you give me a plan B? Like all types of shit. You know what I mean? Like crazy shit, bro. But they know that they at any point in time, my kids know that I ain't gonna let nothing happen to them. And if we in the middle of Brooklyn, shouts out to Brownsville Recreation Center. But like, you know what I mean? Like we gonna stand together.
That's
you know,
what's up,
and
man. That's what's up.
I think I gotta give these flowers to the one person that none of this would be possible with if it wasn't for these people. Omar, if you know Malik, father Omar, every kid in Queens owe that man, buy him a steak or something. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing this. And I wouldn't know none of the kids that I've known over the last year. So Malik, Anton, Dorian, Mano, all my core guys, T-Quan, I wouldn't know none of them if it wasn't for Omar. Omar Blackwell, you see him in Rochdale, you shake his hand and say thank you.
Definitely.
Dorian Pops Don, one of the best fathers I've ever seen.
Definitely.
Coach. He's not going to say anything that he wouldn't want you to say to his kid. That he's going to say to yours.
That's a fact.
He ain't never on sucker time, and he always going to speak how he feel. And he for the kids, man. It ain't about $1 with him. Call me up, bro, because he want to work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
love his energy, man.
Yeah, you get past the tattoos, that's my guy. I mean, you might be scared at first, but that's my guy.
I love his energy. I definitely love his energy. Love. Mom's a sweetheart too.
Cliffy and Gooch, if y'all didn't make me delete my old Twitter and create a new one, I probably wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So
but they need to make your ass delete it again so you can start from scratch again. Clean your ass up.
Shouts out to my man G Money too, because G Money the only person in Queens that's doing it for the underdogs. He's taking 14-year-olds and putting them in 16U and taking 15-year-olds and putting them in unlimited and 18U. He's doing everything for his guys to get them in school.
Definitely, that's tough.
That's tough. Guys that's doing it to get guys in the right places. Like it ain't access.
That's what it's about.
You know, shouts out to the Rose. Shouts out to Pro U. You know what I mean? Like, we got something
special. Nah, definitely. I appreciate you having me on here, man, with you. It was dope. That. You know, I'll probably come up with 7 million questions another time.
Oh, you know that. Let the record show, because they ain't gonna believe me. I'm going outside at 6:00. At 6:30, I'm going to a workout. It is 3:30 in the morning. My workout is at 7 in the morning, and I will be there with my kids. You see the background? It's my guys that change. So we out there tomorrow, 7:00. I'm doing this with bro for the culture. We ain't getting paid for this or nothing.
Nope.
So
I'll be asleep. I'll be asleep.
Yeah, he gonna be asleep. I'm gonna be outside in the sun with my good sunblock on.
I'll catch you live around then.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
I'm gonna
always,
go
bro.
live, and you know it.
Get your sleep, man. I'll be on your live. But definitely, this was fun, man. Definitely, once again.
You, bro.
Always, man.
Love you, man.
Love you too, man. Enjoy, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
You know that. Tell Baby Shark I said what up.
I got you. He'll be out there. He'll be out there running sand dunes too soon too.
All right, bro.
All right.